And so I bent over and took them all.
I don't get it. I do not get it.
Well, I guess. I mean, if you look at the marks, it sort of speaks for itself. Oh, hey, you! Hi! To your ears! And whatever else you're using to listen to this.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Welcome to Big Damn Cast, week 5. Nothing much happened this last week. Okay, that's it from us. Bye!
See ya!
Laters. No, of course, we've got a bunch of stuff to talk about, namely visual things.
Yeah.
And what better way to do that? Through the medium of sound.
So we're going to describe things to you. I hope you're ready.
It'll be like audio podcasts for the hard of hearing.
Can you imagine how many videos on YouTube would there be of just people that are describing all the SDCC trailers?
So what happened is the press play and a thing occurred. But this is going to be better than all them.
To be fair, there's already some of that stuff from the footage that wasn't shown.
Yeah, well,
The footage that was shown but hasn't been...
Guardians, and there was a bit of
Marvel stuff.
there was a bit of Suicide Squad apparently that was not of the trailers that was shown, just to the whole sort of give them a bit of a giddy high.
There's still some Rogue One stuff from Star Wars Celebration.
Yes, which is good. I think that's good. I think they should hold back on some things. But the stuff they didn't hold back on, we are going to sit here and fan-wank all over it.
But first...
well, depends on how eager you are.
Let's check in, Chris. How are you doing this week?
I'm okay, Matt. How are you this week?
I'm pretty good this week.
I'm good this week. How was the week?
This week's been alright. Nothing amazing has happened apart from all the SDCC stuff. It's been a very quiet week until yesterday.
Oh,
when
what the hell have you done?
Eurogamer broke. A
story, or they just broke?
They broke a story that they've got a rumor that they've backed up with multiple sources that Nintendo's next console, which is coming out in March 2017, that has been announced.
That's confirmed.
Is going to be a portable handheld console with detachable controllers. That docks into your TV. So Eurogamer report that the Nintendo NX, as it's currently called, is going to be a mobile console powered by NVIDIA Tegra technology with detachable controllers, and then the tablet can dock into a docking station so you can play it on the television. It uses cartridges.
Okay, now that I know it sounds weird. The portable console thing's awesome. The detachable controller thing is awesome. But the moment you tell me cartridges, I'm immediately like, yes, Nintendo, corner that market again. No one else is doing it. You guys should own it.
But of course, that doesn't give them the same sort of storage as Blu-ray discs do on modern consoles.
But have Nintendo ever been about trying to outdo the other two
never,
for graphics?
Absolutely never. With it being an NVIDIA Tegra chip, it's looking that it's going to be similarly powered to the Wii U, if not a little more. But I don't know how battery life's going to translate when it says a portable console, but it sounds like they're rolling the 3DS and the Wii lines into one with this.
Will digital purchases transfer over, or is it too early to say?
It's too early to say, and also
because I know that was
probably not.
That was a big concern for people. Is they're like, I've just spent a load of money on classic Nintendo games on my Wii U through the marketplace or whatever it's called. Like, am I going to get to play them on the next gen? Can I take them with me?
Nintendo still don't know how to internet. So
or for that matter, do much else.
Yeah, they just don't get. Like, even now, I'm getting a new 3DS in November when the next 2 Pokemon games come out. I've got that on pre-order, so I'm going to transfer all my data over from my old 3DS. It's not locked to your account; it's locked to the hardware. So I have to go through this sort of Byzantine data transfer process to get it all off my old hardware onto my new hardware. And if anything happens to my old hardware before I get the new hardware, I'm screwed. Which has already happened, because I lost the 3DS I had before the one I had now. I lost along with my copy of Pokemon Black. It was.
So what you're saying is it would be great if they had some kind of card that contained memory.
Well, yeah. Well, at least one you could get out easily. But no, but even then, like, all your downloads, your download history and everything like that is locked to specific hardware.
That's so odd.
So I was only able to transfer my Wii stuff over to my Wii U because I had both consoles at the same time. You can't trade in a console to upgrade to the new one like you could with the PS3 and the Xbox 360 for the stuff that did carry over, which wasn't very much. Although Microsoft are bringing more and more Xbox 360 games backwards compatible to the Xbox One. Sony, not so much.
Yeah, even though they promised something akin to it at least twice.
Yeah, it's called PlayStation Now.
That's not the same.
But that's what that is. That's what they were promising.
Oh, that's a shame, because the way they described it was you could put the disc in the console, and if it was now on the PlayStation Now library, it would go, "Oh, this is the game. You've already bought it. Here you go."
They never at any point described that.
I'm sure they did.
They never did.
Oh, tit
That was
biscuits.
never on the table.
Oh, cop was.
So yeah, Nintendo One X. It's coming
Out now, soon, later.
And from what I gathered from the gaming sites, you haven't reported the same thing. That's pretty much been the rumor that's going around since the Nintendo One X was announced. But they haven't been. No one's been able to get enough reputable sources to run with the story until now. Rumor is the Nintendo are moving up a gear and they're going to unveil the console in September ahead of its March release.
Okay,
so that's all. That's as much as we know. So it's like a tablet bookended with controller sections, a bit like the Wii U tablet, which snap off, and then the screen is the actual console, which you can then plug into a docking station, and that goes into the TV.
Like possibly USB or something. You stick it in, and there it is.
I imagine it'll be some kind of proprietary docking thing.
For
because of bandwidth, and then which with an HDMI out and power.
Well, from one outdated games company to another. No, seriously, they're dominating the world right now. Sega, just touch on this briefly. You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? The Sonic 25 celebrations at San Diego Comic-Con.
I tried to watch Jim Stilling's highlights in Scarecrow's highlights reel of that and couldn't get more than 2 minutes into it before I had to turn off because Jesus, that was an abomination.
It just completely further, because I have this very strong personal belief, and again, like, if you enjoy the series, power to you, I'm glad you get something out of it, but I have this very strong eternal belief that Sonic is a completely outdated, overhyped concept and franchise that had maybe 2 good games, and then everybody still just goes on about it. It's more a pop culture thing. Sonic would benefit better as a line of t-shirts and keyrings and merchandise now than a continued presence.
Which he does, but you have to bring games out to keep that interest.
Well, yeah, but even though every new game is usually met with a hail of what the hell is this?
Yeah, from us.
Well,
kids love that.
Do they though?
Oh yeah.
But the main people in attendance at the crowd at this like gig/celebration were sort of like 30, 40 somethings who were high off their tits and were just there because it was Sonic, not because like they actually wanted to sort of see a concert. Yeah,
they're all Sonic fanfic writers. This is my original Sonic character, Do Not Steal.
Oh my god, it's so awful.
Yeah.
If you get pleasure from it, if you find genuine joy, if you have the later games and you enjoy them, or if you've still got like your Mega Drives up and running, you can enjoy the older games, great. Power to you. Fantastic.
I heard Generations was really good. And Colours.
But you've got to admit, that concert, not exactly the best depiction of a fandom that is...
Oh god, no, it's awful. It's really awful. It's really bad. It's really bad.
It was bloody
That's
awful.
not the point I'm making
the
at
bit where he sticks his microphone to the crowd to get someone to just basically chant back the lyric, and
try and sing Sonic Heroes.
Screams a weird, undecipherable bit of nonsense, and you're like...
It did kind of make me want to play Sonic Heroes again.
Oh no, get out. Okay, but before you get out, let's move on to the main topic.
Oh no, there's one more little thing I want to
Before you get out, let's talk about one more thing before the main topic.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 came out on PS4.
Titslings! Is it out?
It's out.
So it's downloadable?
It's out.
Will there be a hard copy?
No.
That surprises me, but go on. Because you think they'd stick that in the supermarkets and everything so that kids would buy it? But...
No.
Oh.
Because that would take effort, and this is an Activision remaster.
How much is it retailing for?
$45.99.
That is
$44.99.
No. Make it 30, and I'll happily buy those games
for 1
again.
and 2. 44.
Still, make it 30.
Yeah, it's too much.
$45.99 is abysmal. Well, let's wait for a PlayStation Plus sale before we even think about it. But even then, I've still got the PS3 version, so I'm more than happy to keep playing the original releases.
There's no.
I've also got a PS2 version of the first one.
There's no remaster to speak of.
Oh, so then it's definitely not worth the price.
It runs. It looks a little better but you know the video still super compressed on the opening. I haven't bought them. I've looked at reviews and seen some video footage.
That means pirated. It doesn't. It means you've looked at footage.
It means I've looked at footage. And
welcome to reviews. YouTube. That's how we are now. You can look at these things.
Yes.
And judge for your yelf. Judge for yourself.
So, yeah, they've not done a particularly good remaster job. They do run fine.
I mean, great games, don't get us wrong. First one's pretty solid, second one's second one is a pretty neat adaptation of Civil War and everything. It's like up to a point where it becomes Civil War and it turns into Secret Wars by the end. It starts Secret Wars, turns into Civil War, goes back to Secret Wars.
Secret War.
Secret War.
Runs through Civil War.
Yes.
And then turns into something else completely.
the sort of a weird mashup of the two, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, kind of.
And the Deadpool entrance is nice. Like
Yeah,
in DC,
yeah.
where suddenly he arrives and the game derails very briefly. Before Deadpool was sort of like a weird cult thing and was more just
It was
a
around the
smaller
time
character who had a
Deadpool was
lot of
starting to
fans.
make waves outside of comic books.
Yeah.
Um,
It's perfectly timed. And it's also because he made an appearance in X-Men Legends 2, didn't he? He rocked up in that one,
so,
and
yeah.
his section was like a fan favourite moment, because it was like, oh, he's kind of cool. That one also had a Savage Land area, which I really liked.
Ultimate Alliance 1 does not contain the DLC characters that were released for the Xbox 360
That's
version.
arseballs. I'm sorry, if you're releasing a collection, I don't care what console, if you were releasing a quote-unquote remastered collection of 2 games from a previous generation, you put everything in it. I don't care what console. It's probably contractual, though, isn't it?
It also does not
Probably
contain
Microsoft
the extra
have
characters that were in the Wii,
Oh, that's
PSP, or DS, or
that's
GBA
arsebags!
versions.
Activision, sort your shit out. I'm sorry, but what the hell? If you turned around to me and you said, right now, on PlayStation Network, you could download Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the Definitive Edition. It's both games. You've got the complete DLC from both games, and it's £40. I'd be like, still a bit steep. But for PlayStation Plus users, it's $35. Alright, bought it. Sold. I'll buy that.
30, it has to be below 30, I think.
30 still, but I mean, what they're offering by the sound of it, no, sod that. You've still got your PS3, right? Go out to a shop, buy second-hand the first 2
Ultimate
games.
Alliance 2 apparently has the DLC characters included, but I'm
Yeah,
not...
weren't they the same for all platforms? Or am I mistaken?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was,
But apparently the Ultimate Alliance 2 DLC is included, but Ultimate Alliance 1 isn't.
That's arse. That's arse bags. That's arse tits. Put them on there. There's no point in it.
It was only on Xbox 360. It was released as Ultimate
Christ,
Alliance Gold, which did
even
include DLC. But
even the definitely going to come out at some point. We promise, honest Arkham box set, Return to Arkham.
it's not coming out. It's not coming out now.
It's held off, but yeah. But even that was promising the Joker DLC that was exclusive to PS3 on Arkham Asylum for both PlayStation and Xbox. So, like, do you know what I mean? If you're going to do a remaster, you put all the DLC on, bro. That's what you do. You do it. You just
Well,
do
it might be like you say,
make it
might
worth
be a
the price.
contractual thing, but I don't believe it's in the Xbox One version either. So
It's tit biscuits.
who knows?
Or dares to dream. Not us. Dreams are dead.
So staying on the theme of video games, let's get into the SDCC stuff. With our first SDCC trailer and bit of news, which was Injustice 2 has now got the Blue Beetle in it.
Yes.
And not the actual,
yes.
not the good Blue Beetle.
A Blue Beetle.
No, everyone loves Jaime Reyes. He's a good Blue Beetle, but he's not Ted Cord. So, but yeah, Blue Beetle's in that game. Looks like Blue Beetle.
Looks pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I prefer the costume he arrives in to the armoured versions they chuck on him throughout the trailer.
I really hope he's
I think that's
replacing
just
Cyborg, because...
I think he is. He's got to be based on his attacks, the way the animation. If Cyborg... But then again, Cyborg's a
in
property...
Justice League, so...
Maybe Cyborg will be DLC.
Yeah.
Because that'll get people to buy the DLC.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It seems daft to boot
Warner Brothers love
Cyborg
DLC.
out, but with Blue Beetle's moves, especially his cannon looking so similar to
It doesn't
Cyborg.
feel that way to boot Cyborg out because he's the blandest character in the entire game.
But you would shift a few more copies if you were like, by the way, we don't have Nightwing in this one. We've got Robin, we've got Starfire, Raven, Beast Boy, or Changeling, and
Can you imagine if they put
Cyborg.
the rest of the Teen Titans and took Cyborg out?
So, wait a minute, I don't want to make a point of this, but you took the only black character out of this.
Oh yeah, of course. But we put a oh no, no,
put a green guy. Okay, that's not the same. That's not the same. We need to have a talk. But yeah, it would be weird. And Wonder Woman finally confirmed. I mean, let's be honest. Of course, she was going to be in the game, but we now get to see her in the
Yeah,
SDCC
they made some
footage.
improvements to a model as well. She looks
They have
nice.
fixed her.
Yeah.
The broad shoulders was distracting to me in the
It was
original.
just. It's not that it was broad shoulders.
They were broader than the
proportions
rest of
were
her
wrong.
body.
Yeah, it was really weird.
She was a triangle, and that's what made it look odd. Like Wonder Woman is an Amazon, which is you take the female form and go, hey, guess what? This thing can destroy you. Like girls can kick your ass.
It looks weird, didn't it?
Which is part of the appeal, I suppose, of the sort of more aggressive version of Wonder Woman. Is it's like sisters are doing it for themselves, and the rest of us just going. Everyone can do everything equally. She's just a badass. That's the point. But her shoulders were a little. It's probably gonna get me in trouble with someone. Shoulders were a bit mannish in the first game. They were too in terms of the bodily structure. If you were to draw that version of Wonder Woman, the version of Injustice,
I have no
the body
problem-
structure is a little too much like a male body structure,
Which
and it was a bit odd.
it's not so much that it just didn't, the shoulders weren't they just didn't fit with the rest of the body. It was really weird.
And we're not saying they've sexed her up for number 2 or like been look at the feminine wiles. They've just made her more of a natural proportion. But also, obviously tall and stocky and muscly, and like she's gonna kick.
The animations just looked weird in that first game.
Although I will stand by that game's story and everything. I really like the story mode for that game. Story modes for fighting games. Story's a strong word. Well, do you know what I mean? Like the story mode for fighting games is usually kind of an afterthought. But I think Jeff John's script for Injustice was pretty good.
NetherRealm kind of kicked that off with Mortal Kombat 9. There's that sort of style of storytelling in fighting games.
There's just something so cool about Injustice, though, with the whole like you get to see this horrible alternate universe and follow the characters from the main one, like be brought into it, and then Superman is the icing on the cake at the end, where it's like, oh god, we've gone so far. What the hell are we going to do to defeat this evil Superman? The real guy's finally made it through, and your last 3 fights are playing as this guy.
If only I wasn't so tired of alternate universes with evil Superman from DC. Alternate universe where everything's worse than the original universe.
I'm more tired of the fact that Injustice has opened up a bunch of other unimaginative people to suddenly go, so my story's about an evil Superman. It's like, no.
They've been telling those stories for years, though.
Yeah.
Injustice was just the latest example.
Batman very Superman, though.
Well, no, because he's not.
Oh, you know that Snyder, in his limited research, played some Injustice very briefly. And that was what the nightmare sequence was about. No, let's not talk about Batman very Superman.
Let's not talk about Batman very Superman.
Yet, because we will get back to it in some capacity. We can't help it. I'm sorry.
Staying on the small screen,
yes.
Let's have a look at DC's TV presence from SDCC.
I thought you were going to say the CCTV footage of my genitals.
We've got Arrow.
It's a very small screen.
Arrow Season 5.
Also, the nickname of my genitals.
The Flash Season 3.
Nickname of the time spent with my genitals.
And Gotham Season 3.
I can't even... I mean, that's just arse.
You laboured that joke far too long. You just let it die.
Just like Gotham. Just like Gotham.
No! I haven't really watched any Gotham because...
Because it's cancer. Strong.
Because
put that on your Blu-ray box set cover.
What I have seen of Gotham has made me go, I don't want to watch any more of that ever again.
I gave it 2 episodes of season 1, and then I gave it the first 2 episodes of season 2, and both times I went, this has missed the point of the stories you could tell in this world.
Watching that season 3 trailer, do you have any idea what's going on?
No, and I don't think people who watch season 1 or 2 will have any idea what's going on.
I have no idea, and it's like, it's a weird trailer because it's these like little chunks of story arc. Like it's like, oh well, Jim Gordon went in prison for a bit. That's this story arc, okay. And then Bruce Wayne almost killed the guy who didn't, and that's this story arc. I guess he's becoming Batman now,
without travelling away and becoming Batman and becoming Batman.
Okay, and then
Alfred's Cockney still.
There's zombies in Arkham Asylum, and maybe Clayface.
And the Riddler.
A bus crash.
And Penguins being electrotherapy treatment.
And Jada Pinkett Smith's overacting again. And
the dude from Jurassic Park is playing Hugo Strange, and I'll be honest, he looks like Hugo Strange.
There's that thing.
He looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
they've gone for the whole like classic look, stroke Arkham City kind of look for Hugo Strange, and he looks great.
That's a Hugo Strange. That's a Hugo Strange. That's Hugo Strange. But not the Doctor Strange I'm interested in going to have SDCC. Also, and then that kind of happens, and then the Court of Owls are here.
It's this minimal.
It just doesn't make any sense.
I know DC,
and it's disjointed in a mess.
I know DC work with them, but that's the minimal research angle vibe that I always get off of the DC adaptations, where people have just gone, "Oh, that one's famous. We'll do like Court of Owls." Court of Owls is arguably the most successful modern DC book. Because it's the one that was like New York Times bestseller and everything, and la la la. So they've gone, we'll do that one. People know that.
I would
argue,
you
could tell a Court of Owls story in the world of Gotham. You could.
I would argue if there was any concept you wanted to bring from modern Batman into Gotham, the Court of Owls would be the one that made the most sense.
Yeah, completely. But why? I just see this trailer and I go, why are you guys not just making Batman? Because you are proving that you could do it. You could do a Batman show. Yeah, you could make a Batman show, and I would watch that. I like Jim Gordon, but your character's not Jim Gordon. I like Harvey Bullock, but your character's not Harvey Bullock. I like Alfred Pennyworth, but your character is Alfred Pennyworth from one book that everyone's really obsessed over for some reason.
But do you know why?
And then an animated show that was based on that book that no one liked.
Do you know why they're not making the Batman show?
Go on.
Because Warner Brothers won't let them. One, because they won't let them make a Superman show either, which is why they're making Krypton. Now, on to...
Because a Superman prequel that's not about Superman will definitely work.
It's not about Superman, and it's not about Jor-El. It's about Jor-El's father.
Oh, great. So it's the story... Basically, alright, okay.
I don't know what story.
No, here's the entirety of Krypton Season 1. There's a scientist, there's a dad of a general who's also a dick for some reason, and they're going to fight each other, and this scientist is going to turn out to be Superman's granddad, and the dad of the general is going to turn out to be General Zod's father, and there might be something related to Brainiac that happens at some point, and by the end of the series, someone will have a prophecy, mind, on a technologically led planet. They're going to have a prophecy that the planet will die in 2 generations' time, or in a generation's time, and that will be the plot of Krypton, and it will be a ticking time bomb show leading to the destruction of Krypton, but we'll never get there because they'll do everything to do with Superman in the first 2 seasons, and then there'll be no point of any stories afterwards. The same way that Gotham has now got possibly Clayface, the Mad Hatter, because the Mad Hatter's going to be in it because the DC Entertainment show did the rumour that the Mad Hatter might be in Gotham Series 3.
So the Mad Hatter's going to be
Riddler's in it, Penguin's in it, Hugo Strange's in it, Mr. Freeze is in it, full on Mr. Freeze already, Court of Owls. There is no point to the story of Batman in the world of Gotham, because it will be told before little emo Bruce Wayne is out of his gym jams
also,
and actually in armour, and
there will be no Gotham left.
Yeah,
by the time Batman gets here in this show.
I'm done with this shit. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. So Gotham Series 3 looks like arse. Arrow Series 5 looks like arse, I guess.
I wouldn't go so far as to call it.
It looks like a flat bum. It looks like this. Okay, no, forget flat bum. There's a brilliant description in the Mark Gatiss book, The Vesuvius Club, of the secret agent, the main character in it, talks about this moment where you will be sort of eyeing up a stranger from behind, somebody who you think, wow, fantastic arse, they look amazing. And then they turn around and the face doesn't quite match the image you were putting together in your head, and you go, oh. And it's basically referred to as a moment where you get yourself worked up and then droop down quite quickly. Arrow Season 5 is kind of that. It's like, oh my god, you're introducing, who's it, Mr. Terrific?
Mr. Terrific,
Wild Dog, and
someone else.
Sackman?
Ragman.
Sackboy and Ragman!
Sackboy!
Like, Ragman's in it. You're introducing, again, more characters that will make DC enthusiasts go, holy shit, really? Mm-hmm. And then the trailer just looks kind of boring.
Yeah. Which is how Arrow actually watches.
Just like, look at that, fantastic. No.
Oh, there's stuff going on. This is actually kind of dull.
Yeah, that's Arrow Season 5. I think that's the best way to say it.
Arrow in general.
It's a shame Supergirl obviously hasn't started filming Series 2 or filmed enough to show off, because I think that would have killed.
They've done a little teaser
of
her coming in, but it's just like...
Yeah, she's in costume, everybody.
Supergirl, it's not even that. There's no footage in it. It's all recycled footage from the other shows, but it's just like... We did this. We did Arrow, and then we did Flash, and then we did Legends of Tomorrow, and now we're doing Supergirl!
Has Legends had a Season 2 order?
Yeah.
Interesting. Because the response to that has been mixed to negative, to say the least.
Critical response has been mixed at best, and the bits of it I've seen have been pretty terrible. Which is annoying, because I like a lot of that cast.
Well, I heard the pilot had a lot of nice character moments, but it drowned itself in ridiculousness.
I really like Arthur Darvill. I really like Brandon Ruth. I really like Victor Gerber.
You really like baristas.
Hate baristas. really like Wentworth Miller.
Yeah.
Really like Dominic Purcell. But that show is not good. It's not good. It's a real shame, because I like all those people and I want to watch them in things, but that is not a good show. But you know what is a good DC TV show?
Do you want to start that sentence again?
Do you know what is a good DC TV show?
What is a good DC TV show?
DC TV show? You know what's a really good DC
I love how I called you out and then I screwed it up as well.
It's a really good DC TV show.
Sonic! What? Sonic! The Flash.
The Flash.
Oh, The Flash.
The Flash Season 3 looks pretty boss.
That's not the right Flash.
We've got a full-on trailer for The Flash Season 3.
Or at least the story arc, or story arc for the first part of Flash Season 3.
Which is Flashpoint.
Yes.
So it's Barry Allen.
Not Thomas Wayne, Martha Wayne. Why do you say that name? Flashpoint.
Barry Allen, both his parents, still alive, still together.
Happy ever after.
The West don't know him.
Which is sad, because I've just for clarification, I've only seen Series 1 in its entirety. I really enjoyed it. I need to catch up on season 2. You've seen season 2.
I've seen season 2.
But I'm close enough to those characters to be like, no,
I have to
no,
be very
he
careful.
should know Joe. He should know Iris.
I
No,
have
I
to be
know.
very careful about some of the things I say to not spoil the end of season 2.
Fair dues.
Um,
Although I know a bit about the end of season 2 because it leads into the premise for series 3. In that, minor spoiler alert, he changes the fate of his mom.
That's the only thing that I told you about the end of season 2, because otherwise.
But I guess that from the series 3 trailer as well.
yeah.
It's like, oh look, there she is. They're all together.
And
but not knowing like Iris is like sad, but not knowing Joe is extra sad because my favourite stuff in that show is just the scenes where the two of them are talking.
Yeah, he doesn't know Iris. Doesn't know, well, Joe he does because he still has his memories from the original timeline. But Joe doesn't know him. Iris doesn't know him, although they seem to get together.
Cisco's a prick.
Cisco doesn't know him, and Cisco owns Star Labs, it seems. Like, Star Labs is now Ramon Industries. Cisco seems to be a prick. I didn't see Caitlin Snow in there anywhere. Original...
I think she's going to be Killer Frost. They're going to take advantage of that.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Killer Frost was in season 2.
No, but they'll take advantage and they'll make it so that she was that in this version too.
Yeah. We've got Kid Flash. Wally West Kid Flash.
Yes. When he rocked up in the trailer, I audibly cheered.
So cool.
I was just like, that is such a cool sight, because he looks like he's right off the page.
He's actually right off the page.
It's
That
so
costume
good.
is spot on. We've got original Eobard Thawne.
I was going to say
Harrison Wells Eobard Thawne.
Eobard Thawne in a sort of kind of Hannibal Lecter kind of setup, like in a jail cell.
Feels a bit Hannibal.
Feels like that was more than one scene that we saw in the trailer, so we might get a bit of that. Because he's the only person Barry can talk to about changed timelines as well.
Yeah.
So the only person Barry can speak to is the guy who kickstarted all the misery in his life. Love that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I like this show. They entangle things emotionally to the point where you're like, God, I'm invested in that. So I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes.
You've got some other speedsters, maybe, and villains, possibly. It's all very quick flashes of stuff.
Sorry, a seagull got in. Let's get rid of it.
Shoot that gull.
I threw some chips in the opposite direction.
So yeah, I'm really jazzed for season 3 of Flash. I really love the first 2 seasons.
It loves you too. Oh, Bay.
It also doesn't. What it looks like from the trailer, what I really didn't want to happen. It looks like they're not doing it. Is Barry doesn't seem to lose his powers again.
Okay.
Which in the original Flashpoint storyline, in the new timeline, he doesn't have his powers. But it seems like he does have his powers in this timeline, which is good because
it'd be a bit dull if
and also
the whole show is about Barry trying to get his powers
They've
back.
kind of already done that plot line a little bit in season 2. Yeah. So,
but what's quite nice is Flashpoint. Flashpoint is a story that's a bit of a fan favourite, but not necessarily great.
I wouldn't go so far as to call it a fan favourite. The Flashpoint Paradox movie is certainly not a great adaptation of it.
Oh no, but a lot of people point to when people
relatively
recommend
faithful.
a lot of Flash stories to all they always say like, "Oh, give Flashpoint a go," because it's a great example of what the time traveling aspect of all this can do.
Yeah,
and
and also it kind of leads directly into the New 52.
Yes, which is
Flashpoint,
which is a thing. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. No, it isn't. Doctor Manhattan's what kicks off the New 52.
At the end of Flashpoint,
check your privilege.
Although you think that Flash has returned the timeline to the original timeline, it's different. It's actually different because it ends up being the New 52, which is again touched on in DC Universe Rebirth as to why that happened. I'm probably going to do something on the blog soon about DC Universe Rebirth, because what I've read of it, I really liked. And I think I might be doing a U-turn on my... Actually, a lot of DC stuff is surprising me in how into it I am. After the last 5 or 6 years have been pretty uniformly terrible.
With the odd sprinkles,
like
odd sprinkles of genius where creators have been left alone to their own devices.
I feel, and they very often haven't been left alone to their own devices, and lets people coming off books and stuff like that before they even publish them. So that's the thing I'm going to move. I'm going to read all the DC Universe Rebirth stuff. So some of it's not out until October. I'm going to read all those first one shots to see what's what. Because that initial DC Universe one was actually really promising.
I got hold of Action Comics and Detective Comics. I've still not read them yet. The first DC Rebirth issues of that. Like when they go back to the original numbering.
Read DC Universe Rebirth first.
If I can find a physical copy, I'm going to have to download it.
Yeah,
I've given up trying to find a physical copy.
Get it on Comicsology.
I'm like 3 weeks behind on Amazing Spider-Man. That's my soap opera. I need to up my game.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about Amazing Spider-Man another time. But yeah, The Flash looks really good.
What else looks really good, Matthew?
American Gods.
By Jingo. This is based on the novel?
The novel by Neil
Gaiman.
It's a really great novel.
Give me the basic premise. I've not read this novel. I know I recognise imagery based around the book because I've seen lots of artwork and everything over time, but other than that, I am blank. Hit me with your rhythm stick.
I'm not sure what's going to be constituted as a spoiler
Ow.
for American Gods, so I'm going to... Because some of the stuff... Alright, so there might be slight spoilers in here for American Gods, but I don't intend it to be spoilers. It's just me explaining the premise as best I can.
Yes.
So, our main character is...
Everyone dies.
Our main character is Shadow Moon, who is released from prison early because of the death of his wife. He's up for parole anyway, he's not getting out, he's not released. He's, released a couple of days early.
Okay.
Because his wife's died. So he goes home, buries his wife. He's like, what do I do now? Meets a man called Mr. Wednesday. And goes and becomes his man. Starts working for him and starts to get exposed to some really weird sort of pseudo-magical stuff. It eventually becomes clear that Mr. Wednesday is actually an incarnation of Odin.
Okay.
Brought over to America by the Vikings. The idea being that all these cultures that came up in America, came to America, brought their gods with them, but now the modern age is bringing its own gods, like media, technology, things like that.
Okay.
And there's a war coming between the old gods and the new gods.
Okay.
That's American Gods.
Blimey. So, essentially, biblical war on Earth in a slightly more snazzy-looking, jacket-wearing capacity.
Funnily enough, the Bible has very little role to play in the story.
Okay.
So biblical's the wrong choice of words.
I just like the word biblical.
And it's more of a metaphysical war than a physical war.
You and your big clever words. You have words. You have the best words.
But the show looks like it's a brilliantly cast. The
It looks
tone
slick as hell.
Right.
Mr. Wednesday?
Mr. Wednesday.
Is played by Ian McShane.
Mm-hmm.
Ticket sold.
Yeah.
I'm there. You have a viewer already.
Yeah. I don't want to say... yeah.
Is this planning to be an ongoing thing, or are they just planning to do like the one series?
I think they could probably do it in one season, and from some of the stuff that's in that trailer, it looks like they probably are going to do it.
Which I
in
think's
one
healthy. I
season.
think there needs to be more one-off season shows. I think too many networks always aim to continue stories that would be told better in a shorter time frame.
I think Neil Gaiman's heavily involved because he's been trying to get it made for years. So I don't think he'll let it do more. But they might do it in two.
Maybe he's got an idea for a follow-up to the story in some way, and this is how he's going to get it out. Because he's like, I don't think a book would be appropriate, but let's take these characters in a direction.
I think he's written at least one short story with Shadow set after American Gods.
So what you're saying is Neil Gaiman is Neil Game for this.
Yeah,
that doesn't make.
Almost. I mean, it's no more stretch than most of your jokes. So.
You're fired. So, American Gods. That's debuting on the Stars Network later this year.
Yeah.
So basically, people who've got Virgin television boxes might get a full version of it dumped in December, akin to Ash vs. Evil Dead. We'll wait and see.
I'm going to find a way to watch that.
What's next, baby cakes? Ew.
The Woods.
Well, I am excited. But... Yes, The Woods, a horror film that's been teased for a while from which studio? Which studio is it that's released it?
I don't know, some studio.
One of them studios. Not Blumhouse. So jump scares aren't obvious.
I don't research for this show. I don't know. I just watch things and talk about them. That's all I do. I don't actually read anything.
You get what you pay for, people.
Yeah.
So
don't expect me to put any effort into this.
The Woods looked like it was a supernatural horror movie set within a forest.
To the point where I didn't really bother. It was completely on my radar.
It was kind of just generic.
Another generic horror movie.
Now, people at San Diego Comic-Con went along to see a screening of it. People who got tickets for a screening of the trailer and a bit of a Q&A with the director, I believe. And they rocked up, and there are posters for The Woods. It's all this forest imagery. And there's been a lot of films like that this year already. There's been a couple like
The Forest.
The Forest. And a lot of things that have used that as the imagery for the... I mean, the Evil Dead remake was just like pictures of trees and branches. So it's like, okay, right, whatever. Supernatural stuff in the woods.
I've still not watched that Evil Dead remake.
People, you know what? Separate yourself from the originals. It's a completely different take using that premise. It's pretty shocking. Like, it's...
Shocking, like, or shocking, like, oh, fucking hell.
A lot of the former and a dash of the latter. Like, it's by no means a staple of horror, but it's not bad. Right, it lacks the sort of more supernaturally spiritual elements of the original, and obviously the kind of... element of slapstick that is present in the original version, but not as prominent as it is in the later films.
So it's called Evil Dead, but it's not like an Evil Dead film.
Well, put it this way: the original's called The Evil Dead. This one's called Evil Dead.
Okay.
It's even on the surface, it's going, yeah, this is just a version of what you've already seen.
What if it was all one word?
But there's some very nice gore and very creative spiritual stuff in there too, but just different kind of. It's good. It's worth a look.
Okay.
And don't eat while you're watching it.
Well, continued your story of The Woods.
Again, I know I'm excited, but I don't want to describe my throbbing. Oh yes, of course. People showed up to the screening of The Woods, probably going, "Oh, it'll be horror, it'll be a laugh. We get to see exclusive for a film. It'll be all right. It'll be good." They rocked up, and very soon into the trailer for The Woods, which is available now online, a couple of references are made, which make you go, "Wait, is this Blair Witch? Is this Blair Witch?" The trailer ends with the title of the movie, the real title. The title of this film is Blair Witch. It is a follow-up to the Blair Witch Project, the 1999 movie that kick-started found footage horror and documentary horror. I think it's ignoring the follow-up to the Blair Witch Project that already exists. But this is a sequel.
The classic 90s horror movie Book of Shadows.
Oh,
with its new metal soundtrack album.
But this is a direct sequel to the Blair Witch Project. The movie's called Blair Witch. Everybody roared with in the trailer because they're suddenly, oh my god! And then when they came out, all the promo material that was outside suddenly had a very familiar talisman made out of wood and rope and everything in all the posters, and the titles have been changed from The Woods to Blair Witch. So, excellent reveal for your movie. Very well done. I'm intrigued, I'll be honest.
Can you imagine if they'd been able to hang off on that until the actual movie came out?
No way they would have got away with that, man. No way.
Also,
not in the internet age.
No one would have gone to see it as well.
Yeah, that's true.
No one would have gone to see it.
Word of mouth would have made it a very successful,
I suppose,
second week, for example.
I suppose.
But Hollywood's all about first week, and the internet's all about spoiling things. So, as far as reveals go, the fact they kept it secret till now is still quite impressive in a way. So, good on them. Cannot wait to see where they take this. And let's just hope that the trailer, which is pretty shocking and scary and atmospheric,
it looks like a good horror movie.
Let's hope that it is true of what we see in the finished product.
I mean, there's a lot of bad found footage films out there, and a lot of Formula 8 ones, but that doesn't mean that found footage is in itself inherently
it can be done very well.
Yeah.
Chronicle, As Above, So Below. I would argue at least the first 3 Paranormal Activities are very clever with how they do that stuff.
You could probably make a good movie out of the first 3
Paranormal Activities.
Yeah. Make that into one movie, and then it's really, really good. But spread them out. I think there's too much.
Oh yeah. Oh no, but I mean the way they
in 2 and 3.
The way they incorporate the found footage doesn't feel like a gimmick in those ones. They make it work. Like even in the third one where we go back to we go, oh no.
I'm saying that a found footage movie can be a good movie, not about how they use the found footage.
I still think the first one's a pretty solid movie.
And the first one is a really good movie.
And I think the second one is a nice.
I think there's
a nice development of the first movie.
It's a nice development of the first,
especially when you realise that it's happening at the same time as the first.
Yeah, but that means that there's too much. There's too much space on the front of that movie.
And the third one, the third one should have been the end of it, and then I think we'd have a lot more respect for it if the third one was the end.
The problem is because I don't think it's necessarily a limitation of their format as found footage films, but
they find an interesting way.
2 and 3 regardless of how they use the
camcorder on the fan.
That's not the point I'm making.
I know. I just like pointing out things I like.
Yes, and that's nice, and I'm happy for it.
I love.
The point I'm making is that there's too much. Those 2 and 3 are too baggy.
Yeah,
to be great movies. I think they're fair. They're all right.
We should do an episode on the Paranormal Activity films at some point.
I'd have to watch the marked ones then.
I've not seen the marked ones, and I've not seen
the Ghost Dimension, which is the stupidest title.
I stopped at number 4.
I've seen 4, yeah.
Because 4, again, there's some nice executed moments in there in terms of set pieces, but then you've got the Xbox Connect, and then you've got the. Oh, I'm watching footage of you through your webcam while you sleep, and no one points out that that's the creepiest fucking thing ever.
Are they a couple?
No, they're in that teen
movie, though?
No, they're in that teen thing where they're kind of maybe sort of romantic. They don't know, but he clearly has sort of developed certain interests sooner than she has. and he's watching her sleep through her webcam and probably masturbating to her.
I'd have to...
Young love, ladies and gentlemen, in the modern age!
I wasn't
and
gonna
also,
go
she's
with
like
masturbation.
13, 14, so any sexualization of her in the movie at all is really
I
uncomfortable.
wasn't going to go with the masturbation bit.
Matt, he's a 14-year-old boy.
Oh, what?
He's a 14-year-old boy who fancies a usually scantily clad girl of his age, and he's watching her through her webcam while she sleeps.
I guess
He's not watching her with fondness, Matthew. You are too innocent. You're an innocent young man.
I didn't think he was a total scumbag. A little creepy, but not a total scumbag.
He's a scumbag. And that's why he dies horribly in the closet. Spoiler alert for a movie that's 4 years old.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. that fourth movie is where...
Ironically, he dies in the closet when he's a predatory heterosexual.
2 and 3 kind of... They're real baggy, and then 4 kind of is where it dives off to be like too much bagginess and just not. It's just not. There's nothing really redeeming about that film.
But let's hope The Woods, stroke Blair Witch, isn't baggy.
Yeah, Blair Witch looks really good. It looks really good.
What else we got, you handsome bastard?
Well,
God, you're handsome.
From witches to wizards, with fantastic beasts and where to find them,
as opposed to the filthy dogging guidebook, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Fuck Them.
Fantastic breasts.
I put it down now.
You fucked that joke up, didn't you?
Right, so
You fucked that joke up because you went too hard.
Hit me with the full title.
Fantastic breasts and where to fuck them.
If that is not the name of the porn parody that comes out early next year, the Triple X parody, I will be surprised. In fact, if any of those companies are listening right now, because I'm sure you are, you can have that title for a tenner and a set visit. Okay,
I'm sure the fine people at Brazzers spend their time listening to podcasts.
I think they've just got a little bingo machine, like a homemade bingo machine with different like genitals written down on things, and they go, right, okay, what films come out this week?
What are we gonna put into what?
What do we have here? We got Blair Witch. Let's see, Blow. Okay, the Blow Witch. No, let's see what else we got.
I can name 2 erotic parody versions of the Blair Witch Project from off the top of my head.
Hit me with your rhythm stick.
The Erotic Witch Project.
Okay.
And the Bear Bitch Project.
The Bear Bitch Project. That's the one. That's the one. Oh my god, that's perfect. And for those who've just clicked the thing in the description of this podcast, hoping to skip to the Harry Potter news, we hope you enjoyed this little time. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. This is weird. It looks fine. Go watch the trailer. I will recommend this. I mean, you're already 40 minutes in, so you've dived in the rabbit hole. But if you've not watched these trailers before we talk about them, I'd recommend watching them. I won't link them all below because, good God, like this description is long enough already. Let's just talk about feelings because I'm curious. We recapped this trailer before we recorded. And you went, I've got some feelings about it. Hit me, Matthew, hit me. With your filthy rhythm wand.
I think expanding the Harry Potter universe is a really interesting thing to do.
Okay.
And I'm glad that J.K. Rowling is the person to be doing it.
Yeah, I remember.
Because Warner Brothers were going to do it regardless of whether she wanted to or not.
Yeah.
She could probably have tried to stop him, like, legally. But I don't know that it would have been worth it.
No. And Warner Brothers are kind of scared. They don't really have...
They haven't
a tentpole.
They're
now trying to play with 2 tentpole franchises.
Yeah, they haven't been able to get the DC stuff right yet. Although we'll talk about that a bit later.
Yeah.
And Harry Potter's done.
DC's still in a place where they're not sure this is going to last yet. I think they're positive about it, hence why they're pouring so much money into everything. And they will get a take, but they're not on Harry Potter levels of success. Like, rewind back to the early 2000s. As soon as Chamber of Secrets came out, Warner Brothers was like, we have a hit. We are making all of these. This is definitely something we need to continue doing. Whereas with DC, it's still a little sketchy. I think Suicide Squad will be the confidence boost they need if it does well critically and commercially. Because after Batman v Superman, they're like, we made money, but nowhere near as much as we should have made, and people hated our movie for the most part.
Oh, yeah. Word of mouth nearly killed that.
So Harry Potter was going to come back. I mean, Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier predicted in a Smogcast about 5 years ago that they'll remake Harry Potter in as little as 5 or 6 years. Well...
No, I'm glad they're not doing that.
I'm glad they're not doing that as well. But what they are doing is they're doing the closest thing they can, which is bringing back that universe.
And I'll be interested...
It's been 5 years since we were last in the Harry Potter world, and we're back in it now.
I'll be interested to see if they try and do a film version of The Cursed Child, which has just opened.
Oh, they've optioned the rights.
London.
They've optioned the rights. Warner Brothers have had a chat about doing an adaptation, but there's no confirmation if they're going to do it yet. I think it's more a case of we're Bagsy in it.
I think it'd be interesting to see...
I hope not.
if they do it with the original actors.
Do it in another 10 years.
Well, that's what I mean.
With Harry, played by Radcliffe and
probably
stuff.
Closer to 15, because I think they're all in their mid-40s.
Yeah, but didn't you see how convincing they were?
Oh, God!
The one bit of the book that no one really likes was brought into the film as the one bit of the film that no one really liked.
I spent most of that last film watching it in the cinema just laughing.
It was like Battle Royale.
The whole thing was just ridiculous. It was just, like
So yeah, Fantastic Beasts.
Just
I mean,
giggling.
what's the thing is, if they'd have done this without J.K. Rowling, it's still based off of a book she wrote. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was
in name only.
Well, yes and no. The thing is, it's not a story.
No.
But they are using the source material from what was originally, if I remember correctly, a comic relief tie-in. And they've since been re-released as sort of slim hardbacks. It's Quidditch Through the Ages and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And they option the movie rights for both of those books. Including Tales of the Beadle the Bard as well. They option the movie rights for. I don't think you can get a movie out of that. I don't think you can get a movie out of Quidditch Through the Ages.
Would you watch a Quidditch, a replacement
however,
style sports movie?
Oh God!
Of Quidditch?
If you did like the underdog sports film about Quidditch, I won't lie, I'll go see it. I don't know if I'd be excited, but I'd go see it because I'd be like, how are you gonna? I mean, are we gonna see the Rocky of Quidditch? I'm up for this. This will be interesting to see, but.
The mean machine of Quidditch
Fantastic
set in
Beasts
Azkaban
doesn't have a Fantastic Beasts doesn't have a story. It's a book about it's Newt Scamander's book featured in the Harry Potter books. That is one of the textbooks for the Defense Against the Dark Arts class and Care of Magical Creatures, which tells you about. God, I'm showing my forehead scar here.
What does it tell you about, Chris?
Which is telling you about all the different animals and creatures and beasts and ghosts and spectres that you can find.
It tells you about Fantastic Beasts
and where to find them. Exactly. The version they released is full of blotted notes. It's based on Harry's copy, which he's borrowing off of Ron because he's lost his. So the book that you can buy is Newt Scamander's book. It's about 100 pages of different creatures and different stories about when he met them or the people who he talked to who met the creatures. And it's covered in different notes from 3 different handwriting styles that are clearly Harry, Ron, and Hermione notating the book and arguing with each other and things like this. It's a really nice little book. So the movie version is instead Jumanji, featuring all of these creatures, which can work. Goosebumps prove that formula can work, but obviously this is kind of a bigger scale. I love the period setting. Yeah. I love that we're in America. I think that's cool. That's a nice little twist.
We've never seen American Magic.
We've not seen it. You pointed this out to me. I didn't realise this. Were they called was it what they call Muggles?
No Magis.
No Magis.
No Magis.
Great! That's brilliant. I was like, was this before Muggle? And you were like, no. And this is where you showed your bloody face. This is where you showed the face behind in your turban.
In Britain, we call people who can't use magic
Muggles.
Muggle.
In real life.
In America.
For our American listeners, that's a real thing. We are wizards.
In America, apparently they call someone who can't use magic a no-mag.
Which is great! I love that idea that there is different slang in different countries.
It's why I like expanding the universe of Harry Potter, because J.K. Rowling clearly took such a deep dive on this stuff. I think it's a really interesting thing to do and a really interesting way to continue the franchise.
And a cool plot as well.
Whether it'll be any good or not, I don't know, but it looks interesting.
We don't know, but I think it definitely looks visually cool. And I like the idea that it's sort of the non-mag dragged into a wizard story, because we've not had that.
It seems like he's aware of the magical community, though, that character,
or at least is open to it.
Yeah.
Maybe he's seen some things. We're talking about the sort of the portly fellow with the tash, who looks like he's going to be a fun character to hang out with, and looks like he's going to be the nice grounding element that will take down the every fricking website article Doctor Who audition that Eddie Redmayne is playing. Well, I think Eddie Redmayne looks quirky and great.
Don't touch on it.
I think based on the footage, he looks like he's going to be a lot of fun to spend time with in this movie.
Yeah.
But if any other website uses that headline, I will bitch slap them personally.
Don't say anything more, because you're just going to feed them.
Feed the what? Feed the trolls. Tuppence a tweet.
So let's not talk about that anymore.
But Fantastic Beasts, I'm excited. Colin Farrell's the not the baddie, but the antagonist. So that's a good thing. I like Colin Farrell.
We like Colin Farrell.
Bullseye. So yeah,
he looks like scary Colin Farrell from the Fright Night remake,
which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, we
Rest
like
in peace, Anton, you beauty. That's a great movie, actually. That's one of those remakes that works because it's not a remake per se. It's just this is how this story would be told if we told it now.
Yeah, it's good,
and it's great. And David Tennant. It's freaking hilarious. Hearing David Tennant say the F word is still novel to me.
I always like it. I always like a bit of a sweary David Tennant. Makes me good. Makes me happy.
What else makes you happy, Matt?
More
Do monkeys make you happy?
more fantastic beasts. Got on fire with all these segues today.
Oh, mince.
Let's see if we can get the whole
If
way
Segway
down.
want to sponsor us, by the way, that'd be great.
Kong Skull Island.
Yes, bitch.
Which I prefer its original title of just Skull Island, but audiences.
But people don't know what Skull Island is, Matthew.
Because audiences are stupid, and therefore sometimes we have to do silly things to cater to them.
Do you know how you get away with that? How you get around it if you're really worried about brand recognition?
How's that?
You put the monkey in the trailer and on the poster, and people will go, "Oh, Skull Island, that's where King Kong's from."
The ape
Sorry, yes.
The
true,
ape.
True.
is in that trailer.
I'd be the first to die, wouldn't I?
I mean,
I'd be the first. It's a big monkey!
You'd be the first to die because I would kill you.
Oh, wow, that's... there's ape conservation, and then there's just flat out violence.
I do it for the good of the group.
Alright, Kerchak. Okay. Alright, Mighty Joe Young. So, Kong Skull Island is about a team going out to Skull Island sometime in the 70s? Is that right?
It looks like people go to Skull Island with... It looks like the start of every King Kong movie with someone going to Skull Island, but this time they've got a military escort, and I'm not entirely sure why.
There's like 3 or 4 choppers.
Yeah.
One of them gets taken down.
They get shot down.
John Goodman's a researcher who knows about this stuff, and once they arrive, it looks like maybe he knew what they were in for, and the rest didn't.
Well, half of John Goodman.
Half of John Goodman. Yeah. Oh god, John Goodman is the new Jonah Hill.
He's a yo-yo.
The difference is John Goodman seems to keep it off.
Oh yeah.
When Jonah Hill goes big, when Jonah Hill gets big again, and then only takes it off for a role. Power to him. If that's how he feels comfy, that's cool. John Goodman. It looks like John Goodman's gone. Wow, there's a thinner guy inside me who's been waiting to get out for a while. I'm going to let him come out to play every other week. John Goodman
goes up and down all the time.
John Goodman sells the ticket to me immediately.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was in this movie. He rocks up in the trailer about 40 seconds in, and I'm like, I'm there with you, John. And Sam Jackson's already been in the trailer up to this point. He normally sells the ticket for me.
Oh,
no, he does.
Does he?
Dude, I happily watched, enjoyed, and will defend Snakes on a Plane. I liked me some Sam Jackson.
Did you go and watch Big Game?
Okay, good point. The point here is, young man, looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool.
It looks interesting.
Where Peter Jackson's King Kong remake kept it in the same vein of the original King Kong, but expanded on it because of the technology we now have, and expanded on it because Peter Jackson likes people's butt cheeks to become completely numb and bloodless. This
it's just got to tell the story so expansive. I just want to be long. It's so long. It's so long.
I just think you could
do. So long.
I just think you could do a 2-hour set piece with the insects. Peter, get to the ape. Get to the ape.
Peter, it's so long. I can't see the end. We're never gonna finish it.
This one looks like we're going in with a more modernised but still in the past. As I said before, it's set around the time of the King Kong remake. The first King Kong remake.
You know, Peter Jackson's next movie project is he's remaking. He's readapting the Bible with a film for each book.
Jesus. So, we're bringing out the Bible trilogy. By trilogy, I mean we're adapting Matthew, trilogy. Mark, and Luke from the New Testament. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go back. We're going to go back until Genesis in a 3-part story. Then we're going to go back to the New Testament. We're going to tell John and Acts and Romans. Then we're going to go Peter, take your meds.
Stop it.
This is Peter Jackson at age 85 in an old folks home being fed medication.
I feel like the stretching out of The Hobbit was Peter going,
I want to make money for me and my family.
Screw you, Warner Brothers. I really didn't want to have to make this. So now you're going to make me make it. I'm going to make so much of it. I'm going to make so much The Hobbit that you will not know what to do with it. You're going to have Hobbit coming out your ears!
People are going to be so confused every time they go to a bookstore and see how much smaller that book actually is than any of the Lord of the Rings volumes.
Jesus.
So, good lord. So, yeah, looks pretty cool. I like the visual set pieces. We've got a bone graveyard, the Triceratops skull. We've got a forest sequence, which on the first viewing of the trailer, I wonder what they were looking up at. I thought they were just looking up at the sun, and then I was like, oh, those trees are a bit weird. And then on the viewing with you, just before we started recording, I was like, that's a spider. That's a spider. Pausing it. Like, that's the body. Yep, there's the abdomen. That's a spider. Those trees, there's 8 of them. That's a spider.
That's a spider that looks to be about
30 foot tall. Oh my god. So already nightmare fuel for me from just the trailer.
Oh god, yeah.
Kong...
Because the insects in that Peter Jackson one was just... I mean, it was a great sequence, but it's just skin crawling.
Yeah, it's disgusting. And Jamie Bell and Andy Serkis and everybody getting devoured. Kong, from what we see of him, looks pretty cool. Gone less the gorilla route, more the ape route. He looks like a chimpanzee that's been stretched. Which is closer to the 80s kind of
he's
version.
got a black coloration of a gorilla.
Yeah, but I mean, like, sort of round ahead, the more Homo sapien-esque physique. Yeah. But that's cool, because if he's going to fight Godzilla, imagine that!
He's going to fight Godzilla. That's going to be the next King Kong movie. Kong vs. Godzilla.
Question. Are they tying in Godzilla, Kong, and Pacific Rim? Is that the next step? Because John Boyega has dropped hints that his Pacific Rim film, because he's his production company. John Boyega's production company? What?
Well, what else are you going to do with that?
Are the ones who have kickstarted Pacific Rim 2. Guillermo del Toro, I don't know if he's directing, but he's definitely, like, overseeing it.
Yeah, because if you attach Guillermo del Toro to a director film, then you've got a 50-50 chance of it actually ever getting made.
And... So that's why Boyega's putting his back behind it.
For some reason, people don't want to let him make
Idris Elba's involved in some capacity, and they have shown John Boyega put a production picture, like, I don't know if it was a production picture or fan art or something, of one of the robots. I can't remember what they're called. I feel bad now. But one of them
the
Jaegers fighting Godzilla. And the Godzilla looks distinctly like the 2014 design.
Oh, yes.
And he just dropped it on Instagram and then left it at that and didn't explain himself.
Yes!
So, if Pacific Rim 2 ties into... Like, if they take their kaijus and tie into the actual goddamn kaiju mythology...
Take their kaijus, go home.
And then they tie it into the Kong mythology that they're about to start up.
Well, everyone likes shared universes nowadays.
Shared universe or not, I will happily watch a movie where Gypsy Danger fights Kong and Godzilla. I will watch that movie. You sold the ticket. Yeah. And if John Goodman could just be sat at the edge with Ken Watanabe and they both go, let them fight. I'm there. So...
But then Charlie Hunnam might not be in it because he's too busy making King Arthur movies with...
Segue, my boy.
Guy Ritchie.
So, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. I mean, spoiler in the title, King Arthur, because he ain't king in the trailer.
No, well...
But this looks like if Snatch were set in a medieval village that is also crossbred with Lord of the Rings. And I'm going to say it now. Good. I'm glad that this Arthurian universe is going, yes, we have mystical elements. It's not doing what the 2003, 2004 movie did.
I liked. Yeah.
Because Arthurian legend is just that. It's not fact. American listeners, Arthur was not a king. It wasn't a real thing. Okay, well...
It's actually a French legend.
But it's a French legend. We've adopted it. Cornwall eat the shit out of it. Like,
yeah, they love that shit, yeah.
They love that shit. Northumbria,
we used to have an entire...
There's a motorboat in that Arthurian legend. They
park.
take the gap in the stone and go...
We used to have an entire theme park based around Arthurian legends. That is the really sad
place called Camelot. I had a great ride called Excalibur 2. Also had a lot of not so great rides, but it had Excalibur 2 down. It had a terrible haunted house.
Hence why it's no longer a thing. They had the one about the serpent though, didn't they, as well?
Although people do trespass onto it and take photos. Not that I know anyone who's ever done that.
Well, that's what we're doing after this podcast. Not going in trespassing, I mean looking up photos.
There's a camera in location that I know of filled with photos of the abandoned Camelot. And maybe one day the person who took them will publish them, but they may or may not be terrified of doing that. So we'll see. All I'm saying is, somewhere on our fridge, I think it's on the far side, is a Camelot banner around the corner from the... after times. So, that was stolen from the site. So! Disclaimer, this is all a lie.
None of this is true.
Oh, this is true. But yes, King Arthur, I'm going to say it, I kind of like the look of it. It looks preposterous, but the shot of the creature in the tree... Yeah. The music, like taking like the sort of the folk songs and adding that dum 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 like beat to them sounds kind of cool. The guitar riff.
I mean, I'll say this:
Jude Law looking like a magic using bad guy.
Is he not Merlin?
I don't know if he is Merlin because he looks like he's the antagonist. The way the trailer sets him up, it looks like he's the villain. But there's a bit where he's just stood there with a crown wielding fire. The broad northern accents coming from some of the characters.
They just got the Game of Thrones cast.
Yes,
they've got everyone who's been killed off in Game of Thrones for the last 3 seasons.
Hey, we got your chainmail. We're going to throw another crest on it.
Although, I think Aidan Gillen's in it as well.
Yeah, I believe so.
Because I think if you can see a pretty flash of Aidan Gillen.
Hunnam looks pretty cool.
Hunnam looks good. On the subject of Hunnam, I watched Crimson Peak.
It's good, isn't it?
Called it Night
It's
Sky.
good, right?
It's very good.
It feels like it could be about half hour shorter and could have just been told as a short ghost story. But it's not a horror film. When I watched the extras, I found new love for it because they make a good point of saying, this isn't a ghost film. This isn't a horror film. It's a gothic romance. Yeah, and when I look back over the last hour and a half, I'm like, oh god, it is, yeah.
It's like she says at the beginning, the ghosts are just a metaphor.
Yes.
Except, well...
And all of them, bar the one who appears toward the end, are played by the same actor. He's a real dude.
It's all Doug Jones.
He's like, not Doug Jones. He's sort of Doug Jones is like protege in a way. Doug Jones has gone more into like creating films and stuff now. But this guy's like 7'1".
Yeah.
He's incredibly scrawny build. He played that thing in the attic in Wreck, for example.
Did he do the ghosts in Mama?
Yes, he was Mama.
He was Mama.
Which is mental because Mama seems CGI. Yeah. Mama ain't CGI.
No.
He played for those who've seen Conjuring 2, he played the Crooked Man in Conjuring 2, which again looked CGI, was not CGI.
The Conjuring.
The Conjuring.
I was listening to someone's conversation about them being taken to see The Conjuring by their boyfriend.
Oh my god.
And I really, really, really wanted to just jump in and go...
It's actually... No, do you know what? I'm going to let you call it that. The Conjuring.
I just couldn't remember. Because I thought, no, then I'm just being a dick.
He also did Finn cosplay with a friend for a Halloween party a couple of years ago. If you go on his Instagram, there is a picture, and it's hilarious to look at because his bodily proportions, if you like shrunk him down to about 5'5", he would be Finn.
That's Finn from Adventure Time, not Finn from Star Wars.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that would be a bit weird.
That would
be like a Scarecrow-esque Finn. Do you have a cute boyfriend? Yes, much cuter than you. You're a terrifying Scarecrow man.
I love that line so much!
So, King Arthur, it's very Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I'll say for Guy Ritchie is that he's proven that he can take his visual flair that he's demonstrated in his Cottonies and Coke movies, which he doesn't make anymore, thankfully.
Yeah. Because it would just be
really good.
It would just be the same movie if he continued. So
yeah,
what he's done,
Lockstock's great. Snatch is amazing. Everything else.
He's like, I'm going to take this sensibility and apply it to different time periods.
Like, he's a really sharp visual filmmaker, and yeah, the Sherlock Holmes stuff was really sharp visually. This looks like he's gone into like a more fantasy setting and again, knocked it out of the park visually.
It looks like Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings got drunk in the bar, and then both of them blew Guy Ritchie, and he went, I know what I'm doing next.
Whether it'll be a good
maybe
movie
one of them
or
fiddled
not,
with his bum.
I don't know, because I wasn't massively keen on Sherlock Holmes.
I quite liked it.
I haven't seen Game of Shadows.
They are quite divisive. Game of Shadows is worth a watch just for the minigun sequence.
I do like Jared Harris as well, but he's been in plenty of bad films that I haven't watched.
But the problem with that was his Moriarty came the same year that we got to see Andrew Scott's Moriarty, back before we were tired of Sherlock, and his Moriarty is much better than Jared Harris's because his Moriarty is menacing and entertaining and everything, whereas Jared Harris is very classical, like, I am a posh old man who knows what he's doing and I have a great beard.
I've worked with Andrew Scott very briefly.
Did you?
He's a lovely, lovely man.
Is he more Irish than any man should ever be?
More Irish than Irish, and as gay as the day is long.
Oh, good. Fair enough.
I don't know if I can say that. Maybe cut that out.
No, no, not at all. Like, that's fine. I think he is gay as the day is long. The dude was in Pride. I think he's more than happy to be as gay as the day is long. And it also feels weird when he gets completely contained. He's a very animated, very active actor.
He's very...
In Spectre, he provided a nice bit of menace, but he seemed like it was being caged.
Yeah, he's very nice. He's very... In my brief experience of meeting him, he's very nice and sort of...
Let's talk on the topic of Andrew Scott, actually, very briefly about the Sherlock Series 4 trailer that was shown. Did you see that one?
I've not seen it.
It's not really showing much. It's showing lots of, things are sinister. Sinister things are happening. Aren't we in trouble? So it doesn't really give anything away. But it does open with the only shot of Andrew Scott in the trailer, which is that footage from the end of Series 3, the whole Did You Miss Me, footage of Moriarty on a screen. So I've got to admit, having not seen The Abominable Bride, and having no desire to see The Abominable Bride...
Is that the period piece Christmas special?
That turned out to not, spoiler alert, turned out to not be period piece. It's all a hallucination. The entire New Year's special takes place on the plane that's on the airfield at the closing moments of Series 3. Sherlock, they get in the plane and go somewhere, and Sherlock basically gets high on drugs and uses that internal thing. But you don't see that. You see a period piece till about 40 minutes in, and then it suddenly cuts to him on the plane. And it's like, what? He's creating an internal mystery to help try and figure out something from the end of Series 3.
No, but what it is...
Right.
What it is, right, is it's really clever.
Mr. Moffat.
It's actually really clever storytelling, because what you're doing is we're making you think that we're telling one story when we're actually telling another. And I'm doing that because I'm really, really clever.
Oh. Could you explain the scene that everyone's told me about from The Abominable Bride?
I'm really clever!
Steve,
I'm Irish now, apparently.
And drunk. Yeah, it looks fine. It looks fine. But, yeah. And also, notable absence of Doctor Who at San Diego this year. Understandable, but at the same time, it was not missed.
Doctor Who's dead to me, anyway.
It's such an odd thing. Screen Junkie Central took over the site that is normally the Doctor Who BBC America site for San Diego Comic-Con, where they have cosplay competitions, separate Q&As, things like that. So Screen Junkies took over that space. So next year it'll be a battle, because Screen Junkies Central was very successful this year. Next year it'll be a battle to see who gets it again, BBC America or Screen Junkies Central. Because I think Screen Junkies sold pretty much the same amount of tickets. And they got a wider variety of properties to do. Obviously it's not just Doctor Who. So it depends. It remains to be seen who will be successful next year to win that space.
Better get that Doctor in Distress charity signal ready.
Oh, Christ. I don't know if you saw the cover to this week's Doctor Who magazine. Buy it from any of your good news agents or local print stockists. It's excellent, especially time things.
Shilling!
But the cover of it, I don't get any money for telling you to buy it, but I'm in it, so go buy it. But the cover of this month's issue is Your New TARDIS Team. It does not strike confidence in the heart at all.
No.
So, yeah, yeah. Hey, everybody, we brought along Nardole. I don't even know who that is yet. I just know that's the name of Matt Lucas's character.
Let's talk about something that does inspire confidence.
My throbbing... No, go on.
Ghost Rider's in season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yippee-yi-yi!
I might actually have to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. again.
I tweeted it out, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. favorited it. I was like, you've won a viewer.
Yes.
You've won a viewer. I will tune in for the series opener for Series 4. But that's the best thing. They'll have already shot this stuff. They'll have done it all. No, they will have. They have to have.
Yeah.
They have to have shot the first part of Series 1. Because that's the Series 4, sorry. The first story I meant of the series.
They've definitely shot the first part of Series 1.
Oh my god.
Because I've seen it.
When did they get away with that? But
they barely did.
Which means that visual effects will be heavy, or all of his scenes will be internal. But I bet they'll have shot some stuff with that car, that beautiful automobile that was on the floor at San Diego Comic-Con.
Which also suggests it's the Robbie Reyes.
Well, I was going to say, which belongs to not Johnny Blaze, not Daniel Ketch. It's Robbie Reyes.
The all-new Ghost Rider.
The all-new, all-different Ghost Rider. Good. Because here's the thing, if you're going to blow your load, because this is them basically going, oh, for those who didn't know, we own Ghost Rider again, ladies and gentlemen. We have him. He's in the MCU.
I think we've got him on Netflix first, but I'm glad we've seen him.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Says Yosemite Sam.
Tell me what.
I think they are saving Johnny Blaze for Netflix.
I think they're
going to do
because
I predict this. I predict that after Defenders, if Punisher does well, Punisher will spin off into, and this is just prediction, but good God, I hope it's true, a Netflix series called Midnight Suns.
Was Punisher ever on Midnight Suns?
No, but you could easily segue him into it. You could.
I think Moon Knight would be an easier.
Don't overplay the mystic element too much. But Punisher was in the same series of Daredevil where the Hand resurrected people and brought them back to life. So the Punisher could complement that, but you could then have Ghost Rider, you could have Moon Knight, who they have always sort of been like, we want to do something with him, but we're not quite sure what.
And that includes comics, because they can't seem to get a good run out of him.
What perfect way for Marvel to bring back Blade, who, yes, they also now have the rights to again, in a Netflix show. Blade, fuck it, come on, Blade, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, maybe Punisher, and screw it, chuck in Morbius, alright?
Go with me.
Do it!
What if?
I would suck so many dicks to make that happen.
What if to get the mystical
I would
elements,
swim through vaginas.
What if to get the
That's how those work, right? You swim through them.
What if?
Not helping the gay rumours here, am I?
You're not helping it.
Yeah, go for it.
What if, right, to get the mystical elements
to all our young
into
listeners,
the Punisher,
yes.
that...
Don't you dare suggest what I think you're going to suggest.
That that they need to get into a Midnight Sun show.
Don't you dare do
They
it. No.
adapt
No. As fun a story as it is.
that story where he gets killed, goes to hell, and comes back as an angel of vengeance.
Oh, you actually went with something worse than what I thought you were going to go with.
Did you think I was going to go Frankencastle?
I thought you were going to go Frankencastle.
Oh, I'd love to see Frankencastle. It's so bonkers.
There's no way they'll do
so
Frankencastle.
Bonkers.
There's no way they will do Frankencastle.
Oh, no, they won't do Frankencastle.
Not in a world.
It's amazing.
Not in a world where Fox probably still own the rights to the Mole Man, to Monster Island. Do you know? Okay, can we talk for a split second about what's the actor's name? The one who was in Fantastic Four Stick, and was Samuel Stern in.
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. I can't remember the guy's name, but I know exactly the guy you mean.
It's Tim something, isn't it?
Tim
Billy Hay.
Tim Summit. He's Tim Summit.
Tim Brooke Taylor.
I'll call him Tim Brooke Taylor.
who makes a cameo in The Conjuring. The goodies are on the TV for a scene, and it's really cool. It's such a really weird but it really annoyed me because I'm a fan of the goodies, and they were showing the TV, like, there's some white noise stuff, and it keeps switching channels, and they showed the episode out of sequence, and it really got my goat. I was like, that doesn't happen at that point! Why you little? Goodies is freaking great, by the way. If you've never seen it, watch it. It's my entire sense of humour at CBBC was sort of like, whenever I had a chance to
sense of humour
to
is
create sketches, it was influenced by the goodies. I basically was like, shut up. I was basically like, how should we make the tone of the sketch work? Yeah, watch an episode of The Goodies, fellow person at work, and then watch that, come back, that's how we should do this. The Goodies should be our framework. Instead, our framework ended up becoming me and Hacker making Victory's Big Night Out references at each other on live links. You really, really are! Stuff like that. But anyway, he got to play Samuel Stern, who gets teased to be the leader at the end of Incredible Hulk, and then it's never followed up. Yeah. They could totally do that now. They could Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. him. Bring the leader into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, yeah,
because
that's still, a movie still happened.
Because that's the thing.
They mentioned Blonsky.
He could have been squirreling away doing stuff, and then he comes out. That would be amazing. But also, they mentioned Blonsky. Blonsky's in the first one-shot. He was meant to be on the Avengers. Like, there's loads of different things like that you could do with this. But also, in the Fantastic Four Stick movie, he plays a guy who's just part of the organisation, whose character name is the name of, and I always forget the real name, but it's the name of the dude who becomes the Mole Man. So twice he's been cock-blocked from actually playing a character.
I have not seen Fantastic Four Stick.
Neither have I. Don't ever want to go anywhere near. I've seen the first 5 minutes because my stepbrother put it on the TV at my dad's, and I was just like, oh god, this is horrible.
The beautiful woman who I am lucky to share a house with.
Me.
Not you.
Oh, right. Oh, you mean your actual house?
You're neither beautiful nor woman.
Oh.
But you're always in my heart. She has seen Fantastic Four Stick.
Oh no.
When I was out of work, she was like, you know what, I'm going to watch it to see what it's like, to see if it's really as bad as people say it is. It's worse.
Put it this way, it's so bad, Michael B. Jordan has ended a contract and purposely jumped to the other side. Yeah. So, that sums it up.
Also, Michael B. Jordan joining the Black Panther cast means he gets to work with the same director, but with on Creed and Fruitvale Station, so...
Now, no new footage was shown of Black Panther at SDCC.
Nope, but they had a cast panel.
They had a cast panel, and... what a freaking brilliant cast.
Where is Andy Serkis? We're not getting Claw.
He's in the movie. He's in the movie.
Is he?
Yeah, when he was announced as being in Age of Ultron, they announced that his character was also signed on to be in the Black Panther movie too. So Claw may be the tag, but just put him in it. That'd be awesome. Give us Claw.
I want to see how Claw they go. I want to see if they do just give him the radar dish hand and make him out of sound.
I think they'll give him a Stark Tech-esque hand that will also do a Sonic thing at some point.
I like they took his hand off in Age of Ultron.
And they'll probably show a scene where they're in an aquarium and he looks at a cuttlefish and he goes, ugh, and he stamps on it with his new hand to show that he's no longer afraid of cuttlefish. What a great character development.
Cuttlefish.
That was such a Joss Whedon moment in that movie. It was
is a movie it's
if
one long Joss Whedon moment.
If you're going to force things onto me that I don't want to do, he says, at least let me give Andy Serkis a monologue about cuttlefish.
Yeah.
Because, good God.
That movie is, for the most part, one long Joss Whedon moment.
Because it's a coping a coping mechanism. He's doing it to get over the stuff he didn't want to do, but was being made to do.
There's so many Whedonisms in that film.
Should we stick with Marvel?
We shall stick with Marvel. Although we're going to go to sort of dodgy territory.
Oh, mince.
With Legion. So it's
Fox
Marvel,
TV show, but it's Fox, yeah.
in association with Marvel because it's an X-Men TV show.
Yeah, set in the modern day from what we can see.
Yeah, but
although it may also just be set in the mind of a character based on the teaser trailer.
It's not set in the same universe as the X-Men movies.
Well, that's stupid. Because this could be Fox's chance to sort of really get a grip on having their territory.
And it is a series about Legion, who, for anyone who doesn't know the character, is...
Go for it.
He is...
Give us the back of the packet Marvel Legends action figure synopsis.
He is the son... David Haller, the son of Professor Charles Xavier and Gabrielle Haller.
Which one? McAvoy or Stewart? The timelines are so confusing.
Probably neither, depending on going off this. Who has multiple personalities, each personality having its own power.
Which is quite cool premise.
So I'm assuming that what we're seeing from the trailer of like the dream sequence stuff is his different personalities in his head.
Yeah.
Because from what I'm seeing of the
concept,
sort
of a bit of an action thing. You see a bit of a musical number.
But you also see the girl there, who he's switched places with.
Yeah.
So maybe she's now in his head.
Or are they doing a what's that Netflix? Sense6, whatever it's called, like where it's
Sense8.
Sense8.
That was the Wachowskis, so it's definitely weird.
Well, I was going to say, are they doing something similar to that? Because isn't that about like the person sharing different bodies and
it
just seems like an odd concept for them to do. Like, we're going to do a TV series set within the X-Men property in some way. This is our chance to make our expanded universe grow after Deadpool.
I mean, and Si Spurrier has recently done I've not read all of it, but what's regarded to be a very good run with Legion on the Marvel Now.
He's a friend's husband. Whenever I see or read his name or read some of his work, it always freaks me out. Because I'm always like, I could probably ask a question to my friend and say, just ask Si about this.
He's done some real good work.
I bought the first issue of Weavers from Travelling Man in Manchester, and they had signed copies for like an extra £1. So I bought the signed copy, and then felt really weird because I was like, this is a mate's husband. I've got his signature on a book. This is weird.
I could just, be like, yo, sign this for me, Si.
Yo, Si, sign it again.
Oh,
sign the back cover.
Yeah,
So good things can be done with this character, but it does seem odd. In a world where you think they might go with something else, they might go, let's pick a mutant and do a TV show about them. Legion's not really the first one.
It's a weird choice. It's a really weird choice. I'm not sold.
No.
The trailer doesn't look that interesting. Again, it's like Gotham.
It looks
There's
like
a lot of weird visual stuff going on, and none of it really makes any sense.
It also looks like they've taken clips from like the first episode and just made a trailer.
I think they've only made the pilot at this point.
Well, there you go. So that's not
it's
really...
been greenlit, but I think they've only made a pilot.
Well, it depends on how you do your trailers. Marvel, elsewhere, know how to do their trailers. Do you want to jump into the sexiest portion of this round?
We've got a bunch of Netflix stuff.
Oh, good lord, it made me high.
So, we got,
kite.
Out of this, we got a teaser, a very brief teaser.
But beautifully done.
For Season 3 of Daredevil.
Yes, bitch.
Which
we all knew was coming. We just didn't know for definite if it was coming soon, or... Because they're going to revisit that world.
Yeah, they're saying it's coming soon.
But the way that Daredevil Series 2 ends, that could spin off into the team-up series... Which I think it probably will, actually.
Yeah, we'll come to that in a sec.
But the fact that we know there is going to be more Daredevil makes us very happy, because you know that the team series isn't necessarily going to give us much time with, say, Foggy and Karen and everyone. So, like, to know that we're going to revisit that ensemble, we're going to have Matt Murdock and everything, we're probably going to have more Fisk. It's like, yes. Just give us Bullseye in that series too, and I'll be really happy. Like, get to him. Get to Bullseye. Do it, and then if you are done after that series, at least we sort of got like the arch nemesis,
I think,
and everything. But a nice teaser, really sweet.
It's going to be a while before we get to Daredevil Season 3, because we've got to get...
Oh, they might have shot a damn... They probably won't even have a script yet. They've probably outlined the season.
No, because we've got to get...
They just want to
Luke Cage is coming in September.
Let's come on. Let's go chronological. Luke Cage is coming in September.
Then Iron Fist.
Oh wait, no. Hold up. I want to get to that.
We'll talk to the trailers in a minute. But I'm just talking about the placement of Daredevil Season 3.
I'm just excited.
I'm
like a kid in a candy store.
After Luke Cage,
yes,
which comes in September.
Iron
Fist, which comes early next year.
Yeah, spring. That's got the Jessica Jones, the Daredevil Series 2. That's got the Daredevil slot for next year, basically. Yeah. Iron Fist. Yeah.
Then
possibly middle of the year, maybe end of the year. Defenders. We don't know if that's a 13-part series
yet.
Don't know
what that is.
I think that's probably going to be shorter. I think that'll be like a 5
I
or
would
10
imagine
parter.
that they'll take some notes from what they've done with the Marvel show so far and probably make them shorter anyway.
I hope so, because the biggest the only flaw, let's be honest, of the 3 shows we've had so far on Netflix, the 2 Daredevil seasons, and Jessica Jones, is that they could stand to be a little short.
Which I don't mind so much because I get to spend more time with those characters, but there's something to be said for tightening those shows up a little.
The 13-hour movie format that they go for suffers a little when you have to pad your movie.
It's a little baggy in the, around the episode 8-9 mark, usually.
Yeah, I mean, that does end shows. Torchwood, Miracle Day would probably be looked back on more fondly if it was executed the way Russell T Davies intended, which was as 5 episodes, not 10.
So
yeah.
Then we're getting the Defenders next year.
Motherfucker.
However long that ends up being.
And then possibly...
Then we'll probably get Jessica Jones Season 2 first, because that was announced first.
Yes.
And then we'll probably get Daredevil Season 3.
Yeah. And somewhere in the middle of that, a Punisher series, or Punisher mini, or whatever form it takes.
Yeah, we're getting a Punisher series in some form.
He hijacked the panel, which I thought was quite nice.
Yes,
the Luke Cage was at the Luke Cage panel. John Bernthal just rocked up like, "Hey everyone!"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god, it's Punisher!"
But also, I think that's not allowing for any Luke Cage Season 2, Iron Fist Season 2. What I think they would have to do from that point
I think
forwards...
Luke Cage will either be absorbed into Jessica Jones Series 2, or this is on your wish list, isn't it? Let's be honest.
I want it so bad.
If the next wave was like... Because I'll be honest, I like Danny Rand, I love Danny Rand, I like the character, I'm a big fan of most of the New Avengers era, because those two got to play around with lots of other people and everything. I don't think you're going to get Iron Fist Season 2, but you may get Heroes for Hire.
I want it so bad! I want it so bad!
Which would also be... Because again, I'm not sure you could get Jessica Jones Season 3. A good way to continue the Jessica Jones legacy would be to merge Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. That way you get to bring in Hellcat, and you get to bring in other characters that we've met along the way.
Just imagine.
And do Heroes for Hire. Oh my god, could you imagine Jessica Jones basically running that company?
Just imagine if you would.
They are the bullets, she points the gun, and she sends them on jobs.
That'd be Misty Knight.
And then she gets Misty Knight, you could do Misty Knight.
Misty Knight's in Luke Cage.
Can we talk about Luke Cage? Can we talk about Luke? Please, I'm bottling it up like a ketchup
As-
bottle that's been
after the Daredevil
overstuffed, and when you
teaser-
peel the label off, it goes all over your jeans.
That's okay. After the Daredevil teaser, we also got a little sizzle reel about all
yeah,
the
we did.
Netflix shows, including some new Luke Cage footage. And then we got a full Luke Cage trailer.
Maybe I like it raw.
Oh my god, that show looks amazing. It looks so good. It looks really good. Luke Cage is going to be awesome. I can't wait till September because I want to watch Luke Cage, because Luke Cage is my favourite Marvel character. And I want to see him on Netflix because he was amazing in Jessica Jones. And he was amazing in Jessica Jones. And I want to see it. I want to see it so bad. I want to see it now. I want to see it yesterday.
I wondered about the time frame for the show. I thought maybe they would do like a split years thing, like the first half of the season would be set pre Jessica Jones, and then maybe the second half would be set later, following up on something that happened to him earlier in his life. But based on the trailer, it's post his wife's death.
So it's post Jessica Jones.
Which
makes sense because he fucks off in Jessica Jones.
Or mid Jessica Jones, maybe? No, at the end of Jessica Jones, he's like, yeah, I want to spend more time with you. I've got to do some things first. Like have my own show. Bye. Waves at the camera, looks down the barrel. See you later, everybody. I've got a show.
After he's...
Brent Spiner comes in and says, he's going to kick some serious ass! And then the credits roll.
Is that after they've had the whole...
Yes.
Is that after
he goes away mid-series to basically get away from her, because he finds out about her involvement with his wife and that whole scenario. He gets away from her. There's the whole stuff with the USB stick, which is really weird. I was like, wow, an entire plot around a USB. We truly are in the 21st century. It's really sad and kind of brilliant, but, you know. Yeah. And then he comes back in the last section to reconcile... No, he doesn't reconcile. He goes away, he leaves her alone. And then Kilgrave interferes at the bar, because he basically says, I'm going to kill him, like, through the hints and everything. So she goes to his bar, sees him, the bar explodes. And from that point he is, spoiler alert for Jessica Jones! Go watch it, it's amazing. He's a weapon of Kilgrave's, and has been since before the bar explosion. So sometime between him leaving her alone and then coming back in the last 3 episodes, Kilgrave has gone, this is what you're going to do. Yeah, because we even see it, don't we? We see the whole him going after him at the car. So this series must be set after Jessica Jones then, like full on after it. Which I'm down with. I like the idea.
Because I also think it's saying Harlem.
Yes, it is.
So
Harlem's hero.
Yeah.
I don't know who the bad guy is, but I like his voice.
I'm not sure.
Has a proper deep gravelly voice. He sounds awesome.
I know Cottonmouth's in it.
Cottonmouth's in it.
Is it Silvermane? I think it's Silvermane. I'm not sure.
I don't know if Silvermane is... No, I don't think they've announced that he's been cast or whatever. But I know someone said they've seen Silvermane on set somewhere, like the name or whatever, like it's on something, like a company building or something, which I'm completely down. I mean, Christ alive. If Fisk's got to be in Daredevil, I'm fine with that. His history with Daredevil is as thick as his history with Spider-Man, if not thicker. That's fine. If Silverman... You're not going to do the gangster stuff in the Spider-Man films. They're going to be more about the colourful villains.
Yeah.
So if you're going to take the Spider-Man, like, gangsters... Because let's be honest, Silverman and all these guys, the Rose, like, they all started in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then other books
and Spider-Man
would adopt them from time to time.
Spider-Man's not quite street level. He deals with the streets, but he's also in the upper tier. He's also in the heavyweights.
He was because he gets to fight the monsters.
Also because of his powers,
the mutants,
like fighting normal dudes.
I would love to see a Spider-Man movie where part of the plot was him taking on someone at the corporate level, like the Big Man plot in Spectacular Spider-Man Series 1, where like Tombstone and everything. I'd like to see that kind of thing. In fact, Tombstone would be great in a Spider-Man movie. There's been rumours that he might be involved in the Spider-Man Homecoming film or the future plan because
that's got a cast of thousands, thousands.
But because the next batch of toys from Marvel Legends are all like Spider-Verse kind of characters, like the Captain Britain Spider-Man, things like that.
I love
and like Hobgoblin, and one of them they've shown the head sculpt off is Tombstone.
Who's recently been in the Power Man and Iron Fist revival.
Yes, I think it's based on that design actually.
Yeah.
But coupling him with Spider-Man stuff is a little suggestive of maybe he's going to play a role in Spider-Man things again soon. And if it was in the films, that'd be so cool. Who would you cast? I don't know, just any old steroid someone. J.K. Simmons. We're not bringing you back as Jameson, but we noticed that you buffed up. Put on this little wig, and we'll put in the sharp teeth, and you can be Tombstone. Spider-Man! I want pictures. Jim Gordon. Apparently, he didn't get buff for that movie. He's just getting buff, so it's probably for another role.
No, I think he just wanted to get buff. He was like, I'm in my 60s. I just want to
I'm going to get hench.
Get wrecked.
I'm going to get wrecked. So, Luke Cage's trailer is sex on legs. He wraps a car door around somebody.
He wraps a car door around the guy.
I'm happy about that. He takes on an Uzi. He walks into the gunfire.
That's not an Uzi, that's like a proper light machine gun.
Oh, good lord. The fact you know that worries me. So, then again, you play Metal Gear Solid. So, there we go. Luke Cage. Then, chronologically, Iron Fist. We get a very
little small trailer.
Plain teaser that doesn't really give anything away.
Plane crash, gets found by monks, comes back with kung fu powers.
Yeah, although we don't see the powers, but we do see an entire wall being punched out and him pulling his hand back from punching it.
Well, yeah, because he's got kung fu
So the
powers.
trailer is suggestive more than anything. I kind of wish they'd held off and done more of a teaser, if that makes any sense.
I don't know how much more teaser you could get.
Oh no, but I know. Well, like the next trailer, for example, if they'd done something along those lines. But the next trailer, I think the next trailer does a slightly more intriguing job of setting him up, because we're looking forward to Iron Fist. But that wasn't the trailer. I mean, Luke Cage is my favourite trailer, but that wasn't the trailer that blew up Paul H. The trailer that blew up Paul H was the teaser trailer, or the concept trailer, I guess, for the Defenders.
Yeah.
Which is, for those who don't know, in this context, the Avengers of Netflix.
Which I think must have started shooting by now.
Iron Fist is wrapping up, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Defenders was soon. I think it's soon. Because, based on the trailer, based on the narration, we know Stick's in it. Because that is not a line from Daredevil repurposed. That is a new line reading. So, they've definitely got the script, at least. Oh, of course, they've written it by now. The Defenders will be written. Especially if it's coming out next summer or next autumn.
The design also hints at who the main antagonists are going to be.
Which is why I think Daredevil Series 3 isn't going to deal with the fallout of Daredevil Series 2. I think the Defenders is going to.
Defenders, yeah.
Because Iron Fist has ties to the Hand. Daredevil now has ties to the Hand. Obviously, always did through Stick, I guess. But, the show is obviously all about the Hand.
And there's a hand in the fucking trailer!
That too. Oh, man. But the trailer is brilliant. It's like the original Jessica Jones teaser.
Yeah. It's nice.
The one that's all graphics and everything. It's sort of it's segments of papers and magazines being torn up to create the word defend out of all the logos, which is a really nice touch. And you see Daredevil's logo and the Devil of Hell's Kitchen headlines, and you see the freaking Jessica Jones's whiskey glass, and you see a Luke Cage logo, Harlem headlines, and you see the thing saying who is Danny Rand, which that tickled me, I think, for Iron Fist. Because ooh, there's a mystery to this that people from the outside. I wonder if Iron Fist is going to be about people trying to find out who he is and where he's come from, or things like that. Must be a reason why he's strapped to the hospital bed in his teaser. But that was so nice. Oh, it was beautiful.
Feels good.
So good.
I like it.
We know nothing about it other than it's a team up of these characters. We are speculating that the Hand are the villains, but we hope they are, which means Elektra might be the villain.
Yeah.
She might be the muscle that they
wouldn't
use,
surprise
which would be great, because then you've got, oh my god, because then Matt's like, no, I can't do it. And Luke Cage is like, well, Jessica Jones would be like, I don't give a shit, I'm going to beat her up.
I would beat her up.
And then she'll get her ass handed to her because she's not a martial artist.
She'll fight Iron Fist.
And then oh my god, we might see Elektra fight Iron Fist in live action. Oh my god, okay. Marvel, you're killing it. Keep killing it. We can't wait to see what you've got coming up next. No movie news reveal, but that's because they don't really need to. There's a bit of Black Panther panel. They don't really need to talk much about news. However, they did unveil on site armour from the set of Thor Ragnarok.
And
but yeah, everything was dabs apart from Hall H. They got an exclusive, but they've revealed armor. They revealed giant armor that looks suspiciously like the armor that the Hulk wears in Planet Hulk.
I think they've straight up said it was Hulk's gear. I think Taika Waititi said it was. It's like tweeted out saying, "This look at some Hulk."
Oh my god! And then they showed the Thor Ragnarok logo, which is the most 80s looking logo I've ever seen. It's so metal. I'm hyped for this film.
It's almost.
I was hyped for Dark World, and like everyone else, I was like, "Was that it?" But I mean, how can you go wrong with this film? How can you go wrong with this movie? Answer: You probably can.
You probably can.
Hasn't Hopkins confirmed he's involved now?
Sir Anthony Hopkins,
because he said he was 2 and done. Like that was it. That was his contract.
He must be involved.
But I'm sure he's confirmed his involvement in this at some point.
Probably just like, come in, wear your golden eye packs, lie in a bed for a bit. That's what you gotta do.
You're just going to the Odin sleep because we have no other plot. Well, no, because it's Odin's. Spoiler alert for Thor Dark World. Odin's dead. Odin is dead. There's no way they're going to detain him. They will kill him so that Thor becomes the full-on king of Asgard by the end of Thor Ragnarok. Or that Asgard gets completely destroyed and Thor is unavailable to fight in the Infinity War, and then we'll rock up in part 2 as part of the big surprise and the stakes.
We don't need Thor for the Infinity War because we're going to have some more heavy hitters.
Yes. Well, speaking of heavy hitters in the cosmic scale, Guardians. We don't have any footage of this, but Guardians of the Galaxy 2 showed a reel to Hall H. And I think that's the way it should be. Don't give everyone everything. Yeah. Let Hall H have their exclusives.
We'll get a trailer soon.
We'll get it eventually. But it showed them taking on a tentacled creature from a wormhole. So I guess the Rathtars of Let Ship. It showed Yondu and the Ravagers a lot more.
With his big fin!
With his big fin. Yondu rocked up to Hall H. Michael Rooker
with his big fin!
With his big fin. Baby Groot, who the trailer shows off as being adorable, and then at one point, apparently in the footage, he kills someone, he kills a bad guy, and it's gruesome.
Yeah.
So just like the impaling moment from the first movie, which is great. There are more Guardians, but they're not confirming exactly what their role is, whether they join the team. Nebula is in a space prison in the footage, so they get back to Nebula. Nebula gets brought back into the story. Of course she does. Karen Gillan's more than up for it. I think she has hair this time. They've not confirmed whether or not she does. But Karen had hair during the filming this time.
I don't think she did in the...
Because Nebula's original look had hair, didn't she?
I think so.
And then it's only the recent iteration where they made it bald.
I think she had hair in the concept art for it. They think she was bald in the concept art for it.
But they might just be recycling the look of the first film, thinking that's what they're working with.
Bald cap. Or give her a wig.
Just dye red purple. And also, Kurt Russell, Sly Stallone, they've not said who he is, but he's definitely in the movie. That rumor is now, the rumor's confirmed. Sly Stallone's in the film. Kurt Russell is playing not Jason Quill,
King of Spartax, not
but
him.
he is playing Star-Lord's father. They also confirmed that he's Ego the Living Planet.
They've also shown off his costume.
Now, those who are familiar with Ego the Living Planet may say, costume? And those who aren't familiar with Ego the Living Planet, basically, there's a planet in the Marvel Universe that's alive. It's got a big old face, rocks that look like a beard, it looks... all of its protrusions look phallic, and it's a planet.
He's called Ego.
It's called Ego. He's a living planet. He's a giant being. He is an old, cosmos creature. He looks great on covers, because with covers you can do lots of conceptual stuff, but in the books... he's mostly kept at a distance.
Because he's a living planet.
I think the Fantastic Four were the first to stand on the surface of him in a story, maybe? I can't remember. But
don't know much
he's a living, freaking planet.
And
he's being played by Kurt Russell.
Well, it would seem that Ego is somehow able to create a humanoid avatar of
or,
himself.
Here's a theory I heard, which I quite like. Ego is not a planet at the beginning of the movie, but everyone knows about Ego, the living planet. It's a facade. there is something on this planetoid
maybe.
that they are protecting and they don't want anyone to come near.
Well,
So they have created a myth. So it's like a projection or something is used to make this planet seem alive. And Kurt Russell's the guy in charge of the whole scam, which would be great. Because if we're not going to have the king of Spartax for thingy to fight against and butt heads with, like father-son argument, it'd be great if he was just as much of a rogue, but much better at it than his son. And we have that angle. Oh my god, and then he's made a king at the end of it. And he becomes Jason.
James Gunn.
And the planet he rules over is his planet.
He's also said that...
God, I love what they're doing.
It's definitely not something like that, because there is something...
There's nothing to say he won't become Jason.
No. Well, I don't think they're going to do Jason. But I don't think they're going to be... I don't think he's going to be...
Like, he's Han Solo Mark II, from what I can tell.
No.
No?
No, he's described as a being of pure light.
Oh, tits.
By...
Jason Gunn?
By...
James Gunn?
No, by the Quill's mother.
Oh, yeah.
He's
I'm now just picturing a planet swooping down to the house and getting jiggy with a lady.
No, because we know he has a humanoid form because he has a costume.
Yeah, but I'm into hentai. So.
So he's also described as something incredibly ancient that the Nova Corps had never come across before.
Yeah, because they see it in Peter Quill's blood.
James Gunn has mentioned that he's linked to the Elders of the Universe, like the Collector and the Grandmaster, who's been played by Jeff Goldblum in Thor Ragnarok. So I don't. That's an incredibly mundane fan theory.
Okay. Still would be fun though, as a concept. As a concept, if someone did it somewhere else, in like an ultimate version of Guardians, too late.
People with no imagination.
Also confirmed the film is called Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Yeah, that was their placeholder title. They've grown to love it. They've gone, screw it. This is the name of the film.
It's great.
Spider-Man Homecoming didn't... No, Spider-Man Homecoming got some footage shown to Hall H.
And concept art of the
and it's a scene of a lot of the young cast interacting, and everyone's basically come away from it going, this is a John Hughes movie with Spider-Man in it. Which is great. But also the concept art, showing the mother-loving Vulture. Now, I'm a little worried... Played by Michael Keaton. They've not confirmed that he's playing Adrian Toomes, but they have said he's the villain, and the concept art shows the Vulture. So I'm assuming that... See, here's the thing. When they first said Keaton, I went Osborn. Because he would be great. But they're hinting Vulture. Which would be some weird meta poetry of the universe coming together. Batman, Birdman, Vulture.
But he's also...
And also the wings look kind of like a goblin glider, which I'm a little... I like the design for the Vulture. I think it looks very cool. It's very like Ultimate Comics style, like tech heavy. We're trying to make this look more realistic.
Which you kind of have to do.
But I don't want Adrian Toomes to be the head of a corporation who takes Peter Parker under his wing in a mentor capacity, because here's the thing. We've seen that twice. 3 times if you want to count the Kirk Connors kind of angle to it. I don't want to see that again. But because I want Osborn to rock up eventually and be done well. But I just want to see this movie. The set photos look great. The fact that they're totally cool really with Tom Holland taking a selfie up one of the crane rigs and releasing it is great. And it's just so many positive vibes coming from this film because Marvel are making it, Sony are paying for it and distributing it. That is it. That is their involvement. They have some final say with certain things, but who are they going to trust here? They're going to trust Marvel to do what they do.
I trust Marvel.
I would trust them with my child, my unborn child.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah. But no, I'm psyched for Homecoming, and
I'm going to test your segue skills. Speaking of unborn children, I don't know what's next, so this will be interesting to see how you make this work. The last Marvel thing on the list.
I have gazed into time yet to come, the futures of unborn children, and I have brought back roughly 2.5 minutes of footage from the Doctor Strange movie and put it into a trailer.
Oh, yes, please.
Yes, it looks so good.
Doctor Strange, again, for those who don't know, get out. This is it. Marvel Cinematic Universe is just going full Mystic now.
Yeah.
Thor has gotten over its shyness of going, God's will, they've got over that. Guardians of the Galaxy smashed open the doors for wider concepts for this universe. Avengers gave us aliens. Guardians of the Galaxy gave us a cosmos full of aliens. Ant-Man went, oh, guess what? We can be ridiculous and it works. And here we are. We've hit the mystic aisle of the Marvel supermarket.
We've hit full strange.
We are putting full bags of Isaac Argamato into our trolley. We are heading to the checkout with our head held high and a massive freaking cape on our shoulders. This trailer's really fun.
Yeah.
It's like they've taken Inception, got it drunk, and then told it to tell its own story again with the visuals. We have cities folding in on themselves like decks of cards, like dominoes, piling around one another. We have astral forms. We have freaking... Oh my god, dude, we've got a shanty up the ass. Everything's everywhere.
No, Vishanti.
No, I've got a shanty up my ass. She's a lovely woman. But we've got... But we're seeing mystic symbols and runes. We're seeing...
Lots of hand movements. Stuff going on.
We see very briefly. We see the Spidey fingers, which Strange has always had.
He loves them, doesn't he?
But it's great that they're going. Yeah, screw that. We're going to do it. Oh my god, who's Mads Mikkelsen playing? Have they confirmed it yet, or are they holding it back?
Caecilius.
Because isn't his story and his little band of bad guys based off a specific storyline?
I'm not sure.
But we've got Baron Mordo, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah.
God, I love him. I don't know who Benedict Wong's playing.
Wong.
Is he?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, he's playing Wong.
So they're just going for it. They're just doing it.
Yeah.
You have got an Asian mate who is going to become your house servant. No, they'll play it differently.
House servant,
they'll play it differently. They'll play it so that he's like, basically, he's there to keep watch over the... Yeah. If he's playing him, then that's great. Because he's great, and I love him.
Yeah, he's playing Wong.
And it's always weird to see him be so successful and everything now. I wish him all the best, but it's weird because I always picture him in the Peter Serafinowicz show playing Yoko Ono. He's a great comedic... Benedict Wong is a brilliant comedic actor. He's very good at it. So the fact that he's now doing a Hugh Laurie and basically like smashing America and being in dramas and everything is amazing. Speaking of Hugh Laurie, doesn't Benedict Cumberbatch's American accent sound like House MD?
He's basically doing Grumpy House with magic hands.
I'm
Benedict with magic hands.
Benedict looks great. They're not showing very much of his acting in this. They're more showing the visuals. But I'm fine with that because we all trust. It's going to be
a very visually led movie.
Hang on, wait a minute. Benedict Cumberbatch, Benedict Wong.
Yes. Benedictine Chapel?
Where's the... I was going to say we need a third one to complete the Trinity.
Third Benedict.
And then we could be like, guys, there are 3 Benedicts in this movie.
Dirk Benedict?
Do it gently. They've not released the footage from that. Oh no, they've released a version of that trailer. It looks kind of fun, but it's definitely very different from the books. But that's a different thing. We'll talk about that another time. We'll do a Douglas Adams episode at some point and talk about Do It Gently. Yeah. When the Do It Gently TV show drops, we'll talk Douglas Adams.
Okay.
And we'll do it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I like the look of Doctor Strange a lot. Tilda Swinton looks pretty cool as the Ancient One. Let's not get into the politics of all that. But let's just say that the character is in very cool hands, and it'd be cool to see what she does with it.
I like Tilda Swinton a lot.
Mads Mikkelsen's amazing, but so is Christopher Eccleston and Guy Pearce and Tim Roth. Do you see where I'm getting here?
I think
I hope they've learnt their lesson here. I'm currently working on a video for YouTube called "Where Have the Bad Guys Gone?" Because villains nowadays in cinema are either all grey area or not evil enough for us to give a shit about. And I hope Mads Mikkelsen has been given the chance to just be either pure interesting or pure evil.
I think he's one of...
I hope that they give him I hope that they let him chew the scenery.
I think he's one of Stephen Strange's and Baron Mordo's contemporaries.
Yeah, no, but I mean just in terms of what they give him narratively and what we're going to take away from the film. Because it feels like the bad guys of Marvel do kind of suffer. Loki only really becomes an interesting bad guy when he becomes the bad guy in Avengers. His story's interesting in Thor, but you come away from Thor saying, who's the villain? You're like, I guess the green guy in the green coat, maybe?
It was Loki.
Laufey did more interesting evil things. And then Loki had a double cross plan. Basically what I'm saying is the Marvel villains are kind of broken.
There's nothing ambiguous about Loki and Thor.
The Marvel villains are broken in the sense that you don't come away from the films going, oh, I loved the villain. Which is a shame because Marvel's villains are as interesting as compelling as their heroes. But their direction has been the heroes, pretty much, because they had to work for the Avengers. They wanted people to be excited to see these characters together. So that makes sense. I just hope that Mads Mikkelsen doesn't get the same treatment that, like...
I think they're getting better. I think they already showed they'll learn some lessons with the way they handled Zemo in Civil War.
Yeah, Zemo was great, but again, and I did really like him, and that film was not about a villain. But at the same time, I do hope that Daniel Bruhl gets the chance to put on a purple mask and be evil. It would be cool.
I'm not.
The TV shows, put it this way, the TV shows do villains.
I don't need
because their villains expand and have grey areas, but you still come away going, "Oh my god, Wilson Fisk is terrifying. Oh my god, the Purple Man is creepy."
I don't need the purple mask. Like that's not.
No. But let him twiddle a mustache at some point, like Strucker got to do for a scene.
I think you and me want different things from villains.
You don't know what you want anymore.
I know exactly what I want.
I'm not the man you fell in love with.
I don't. The moustache twirling, to me, it's not an inherently positive thing with a villain. In fact, it's often a negative, cliched thing. I don't mean literally.
No. I know
moustaches.
what you mean. I know what you mean. Unless you are the other team in Hall H this year, I think we've reached. Have we reached that point in our list?
Yeah, but we've got
no.
Yeah, we have.
Come on, is it? Yeah. Are we about to dive into? We're
about to dive into the DC movie pool, but we're going to start at the shallow end.
Cool. With
the kids end.
Well, we've talked the TV shows, but we're on to the films now, right? Full fledged.
Yeah.
So let's start with
Lego Batman.
Good God, this is the one DC film where I am 100% on board. Cannot wait to see it for definite. That's not to slag off the others, because I have some those who know my opinions of the DC Cinematic Universe, I have some surprising opinions of what's to come. For at least two of the things. One of them might be predictable, but we'll see. But I really want to see Lego Batman.
Yeah, it looks really good. The comedy's spot on.
It's spot on. It's a sequel to the Lego movie, basically. It's a spin-off.
Yeah,
but it's the same humour, it's the same tone. Its animation style is beautiful. That CG/stop motion mix that just looks so beautiful. And Will Arnett, man,
killing it. Michael Cera,
where have you been?
Really good.
Oh my god, I'm assuming this is Dick Grayson.
Yeah,
I think that's the story they're telling. Is Dick Grayson becoming Robin? Ralph Fiennes as Alfred. I never knew I wanted it more.
Yeah,
it's
good.
Really good.
It's really strong.
The Alfred minifigure is brilliant, actually. The design of the Alfred figure is... the bald thing and the side hair and everything. He looks amazing. Who else have we got, y'all? Joker is glimpse. We hear his laugh. Zach Galifianakis has got a pretty cool Joker laugh. Harley's in the vehicle. So we're going to get Joker and Harley in that movie too.
Mm-hmm.
Footage we've seen of other things where they have like the villain lineup. There's like Clayface, Bane, Mad Hatter. Like they're all in it somewhere. Justice League are in the movie. There's a woman at a gala that the way it's lit, it looks like Starfire, but I think it's actually Vicky Vale because they've confirmed Vicky Vale's in the movie.
I want to bust that body.
Oh yeah, I'll bust that body right. I am excited for Lego Batman, and also it has a line in it which I said before that is more Batman to me than anything we saw in the Nolan films or in BVS, which is when Robin goes, "Oh my god, Batman lives in Bruce Wayne's basement." And Batman goes, "No, Bruce Wayne lives in Batman's attic." I'm like, wow, that is so on character. He'll never say that out loud in the comics, but he's certainly thinking it.
He wouldn't be able to say it out loud in any of the movies, though, because it only works because it's a joke.
Yeah.
It only works as a line.
Oh, you say that when Batman's telling jokes, it's a little sickly? We'll get to that later. My opinion. Don't worry, everybody. It's not just going to be me puking. Matt's Mr. Positive this week.
I am Mr. Positive this week. Which is unusual because I'm with Chris.
Let's talk about a film that we weren't... You bastard. Let's talk about a film, you handsome bastard. Let's talk about a film that we weren't overly positive with, but we've always wanted to be happy with. But I think this final trailer just solidified it. Suicide Squad, man.
Task Force X.
Task Force X, the movie. Amanda Waller, the motion picture. By the sounds of it, like all the people who've seen early screenings of it, like Conan O'Brien, for example, like a lot of the people who've done interviews with them have seen a screening, so that they know what they're talking about.
I mean, it's pretty much it's done. It's out next Friday over here. It's out 5th of August over here.
They all cite Amanda Waller as being like the highlight because she's just awesome, and I'm like, okay, I'm down with that. Viola Davis is like loving it. Like her interview on Conan O'Brien is great. She just starts flexing her muscles on stage and showing off. She's going on about how like she's bigger than everyone. She apparently God, who's it who plays Rick Flag? Joel Kinnaman.
Okay.
Apparently, in one of their scenes together, she sort of was riled up, but she naturally felt a bit of a holdback because she didn't feel like the toughest person in the room because Joel Kinnaman is pretty built and looks intimidating as Rick Flag, weapons and everything. He's got his guns out And David Ayer apparently just said to her, he said, like, I want you to do another take. I'm not going to record this, but at the end of each line, call him a bitch and a pussy. She went, okay. And they rehearsed the scene. They blocked it. And every time she called him a bitch and a pussy, she said she felt more and more like she was completely in charge of him because he was reacting to her delivery and looking more and more frightened of her. Like, you could see it in his eyes that he was intimidated by the fact she was calling him out because he didn't know she was going to do this on the rehearsal.
I mean, I'm impressed that they managed to find anything in Joel Kinnaman's eyes. The man's blank.
Well, he's playing Rick Flag. He doesn't have to be a charisma machine. He just has to point a gun and be less interesting than the other members of the team.
Did you see the RoboCop remake?
Let's not go there. I've not seen it. I've not avoided watching it because I went, oh my god, what an interesting cast. And Joel Kinnaman. So, in the title role. So, oh my god. I didn't want to watch it because I thought if I did, there would be trouble.
There's one good moment in it where he's actually quite good, but that's it.
Okay. Is that the bit where someone else plays him?
No. Absolutely not. Yeah, Suicide Squad looks good.
That final trailer is great because it's mostly compiled of footage we've already seen with a couple snippets of new things like the fire. Ooh, hey.
I actually really like Captain Boomerang from the trailers.
Is Christ, what's his name? He's another charisma vacuum. Jai Courtney. Is Jai Courtney about to break his streak and show us that actually he can be quite cool?
He might do.
I hope so because Boomerang looks pretty fun. Deadshot looks fun, although the more footage I'm seeing, the more I'm like, oh, he's going to be really Will Smith, isn't he? And they've just held that back from the trailers so far.
Well, you're going, oh, he's going to be really Will Smith, isn't he? And I'm going, oh, he's going to be really Will Smith, isn't it?
I don't know, I was looking forward to seeing him in an ensemble piece. I don't want it to appear like he's trying to outdo everyone. I think that would suck. Because he is a bit of an attention whore. If you see him in the full cast interviews, he's like the loudest laugher and the one who keeps interjecting. Well, he's a man after my own heart, but at the same time, steady on, dude. There's lots. You're in an ensemble film, Will. I know it's new to you, but do you remember how in The Fresh Prince you were one beautiful big piece in a big puzzle of very interesting pieces? This is that again. Hold back, Will.
I don't think he's in an ensemble film.
I think he's in a Will Smith.
I don't think he thinks he's in an ensemble film. I don't think that anyone's told him that anyone else is in this film.
Big Will, Drew Hill, haha. Oh, and the Suicide Squad.
They're just going, Will, just...
We all know the breakout character is going to be Slipknot. So, we're saying it here 2 weeks in advance. Slipknot's going to be either the first to die at the hands of the threat or the first to have his head blown up to make a point. But the dude who's playing him is going to have a lot of fun doing it in the meantime, I think. He's going to make Slipknot be like, oh wow, that's actually quite cool. Oh, and now he's dead. But at the same time, it is Slipknot. At least they're not exploding KG Beast in the first 10 minutes like in Assault on Arkham. It's like, wow, you've got KG Beast, and now he's dead. Okay, goodbye.
Yeah.
It's not like anyone's going to not name KG Beast or give him his moment to shine as the ridiculous, brilliant concept he is and then kill him off. Oh, wait, Snyder.
KG Beast.
Well, this new trailer is basically, it's a trailer for the soundtrack. It's showcasing 3 of the original songs from the soundtrack with some new footage. Boomerang looks great coming out the back of it. Enchantress looks like she's got some really cool visual stuff going on. Killer Croc, we get to see a bit more violence. We get to see a little more Katana, who obviously, again, they've held back off on footage of. Yep. She looks quite cool. Rick Flag gets a few more moments. And, yeah. Then they show some Joker footage, and it's just the same footage we've already seen. They're really holding back with new footage for him. I think they're a little scared. I think they've realised the property is bigger than that character. Right. I think they've realised that Harley's a little bigger than the character.
Wait.
In terms of the promo. Go on, hit me.
Are you suggesting...
Oh, God.
Are you suggesting...
Sweet Jesus.
...that Jared Leto might not be the greatest on-screen portrayal of the Joker?
Matt, the greatest on-screen portrayal of the Joker wasn't even on screen. It was Mark Hamill in a voice booth during Mask of the Phantasm.
I don't think you understand, Christopher.
For those wondering at home, Matt is wearing his sarcasm hat.
Jared Leto is an Oscar-winning actor and the singer of an incredible rock band. He's an artist, a true artist, and I am offended that you would not think this Joker is the best work anyone has ever done on screen.
Matthew is now removing his sarcasm hat.
it would not surprise me if Jared Leto's Joker is an absolute garbage fire.
So intense. What is that voice?
Like everything else I've seen in that movie.
We said that for Ledger, the first teaser trailer of Dark Knight. We went, that's a weird choice. What is he doing? But the thing was, with that film, Heath Ledger was not playing the Joker as we know him. The core of the character was there, so the character we know was definitely
He
there.
reinvented that character.
He reinvented the character. He did have the giggling, cackling moments. He did have... the character wore his clown moniker with pride. Like, he put on clown paint as war paint. Mm-hmm. That was what he did. All of the supplemental material suggests that he was a Gulf War vet who had seen death and destruction and given up on life and decided, no, everyone else probably needs to see this. But at the same time, didn't care if he got his point across or not, because ultimately he just liked blowing people up.
Where's that supplemental material?
The Dark Knight trilogy book and some of the other stuff has material about a Gulf War vet who fits the description of the man the GCPD have labelled the Joker. Plus, some of Heath Ledger's study at the time was into Gulf warfare and the weaponry therein.
Okay.
Thereabouts. So, it's basically the only theory that kind of seems the most legit when you look at that Joker. Like, this isn't a dude who wore a red helmet for the mob and fell into some chemicals. This isn't... Do you know what I mean?
A red
hood. This isn't a mob enforcer who just got the crazy pin taken out of his grenade. Like, this is somebody who knows his way around weaponry and tactical warfare and terrorism. And I like that. I'm like, wow, so this version...
Despite all his protests to the contrary.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. But I like that. I like, guns are too quick. But he might be honest about that. Now that he enjoys killing, he's like, I prefer a knife. I can take people apart piece by piece. Leto's Joker is obviously... what they've done is they've gone and looked at... I think they've briefly glanced at Grant Morrison's Joker. Very briefly. They've really very briefly glanced at the cover of All-Star Batman and Robin with the Joker on with his back tattoo. And then someone's watched Scarface and gone, oh, that's what we'll do! That's him!
So they've looked at all the wrong things, because the Joker isn't Scarface.
No.
All-Star Batman is hot garbage. And also All-Star Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder is hot garbage.
Yes.
Scott has All-Star Batman and Robin yet. I don't think it's out yet.
Not yet, no.
And...
That's the one illustrated by John Romita
Grant
Jr.,
Morrison's...
right?
Yeah.
I do like John Romita Jr., but in some
things
I always go, ooh, and his Batman looks a bit, ooh, to me.
Superman, I wasn't keen on his Superman. But,
it gives everyone the same physique. They're all sort of like, kind of built, but scrawny legs, and that doesn't sit well with me.
But anyway.
I was the only person who didn't enjoy his run on Spider-Man.
To finish my point, before Chris stops interrupting me,
I thought you...
I'm going to have to start gagging him every time I speak now.
Promises.
Grant Morrison's Joker is...
bit sadistic.
Grant Morrison plays with the concept of the Joker, because his whole run on Batman was about taking apart the modern Batman that had been built up and trying to bring it back to some of the Silver Age weirdness and reinventing it for the next chapter, and as he introduced Damian. And he did that with the Joker, so it's an interesting take on the Joker and one I like very much, but it's not a Joker you want to base your new Joker on for a film.
No, especially if it's a Joker that has apparently been going toe-to-toe with that Batman for 20 years.
Also, that Batman who kills people without hesitating.
Who would have killed the Joker.
Who would have, if once Joker killed Robin, would have just snapped his neck. No doubt about it. This Batman...
But this Batman's got guns, because that's what he does in The Dark Knight Returns, isn't it?
No!
That's why he does it.
No!
Oh, wait, did Zack Snyder read any of the speech bubbles? Did he flick the page after the panel with the horse and the rifle? Did he? No, of course he didn't. Ugh!
Listen.
Look, let's get back on the positivity train. Let's miss the Joker. For now. Even though we're going to have to talk about him.
I have issues with Suicide Squad without having seen it yet.
Yeah, ditto. I have a lot of
just off the trailers, the issues I have are...
Joker.
The
Harley. I'll be honest,
over-sexualization of Harley.
Yes. Missing the point of what the sex appeal that character has is not defined by how she dresses.
Having seen David Ayer's previous movie in Sabotage, the tone of the film...
The tone of David Ayer at the panel.
David Ayer as a filmmaker and the way he presents himself.
He had a hat on that said something like, Make America Great Again. And the thing is, I was like, is that a parody of Make America Great Again? Or is he a Donald Trump supporter?
Who knows?
And is just trying to sort of appear more bro? I don't understand.
Who knows? I don't know.
Ugh.
But now, those issues aside, could be alright.
Music seems pretty good.
Yeah,
the music made for the soundtrack is
the
pretty
music's
sweet.
been very strong. The whole
They've stuck
for all
with
the
they
trailers.
went with the Guardians of the Galaxy formula
Yeah.
by using classic hits.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to introduce their music, and their music is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Calling it Enchantress will be the main villain. Or at least the thing that's inside her will take advantage of the situation and turn it into a thing.
From what I understand, you're not far off.
Okay. Well, all the zombified people look like they've been affected by her power.
We'll talk about it after the podcast.
Okay, fair enough.
The
Treat me to a takeaway and we'll talk about it.
the hand coming up out of the table and flipping.
I'm only half joking.
flipping
That's
out.
beautiful, isn't
That's
it?
really good.
That's good.
That's
And
really good
the
shot.
full clip of that, it looks like that's quite early in the film.
Yeah.
That's Amanda Waller sort of saying, these are the people that I have in my custody. Imagine what people overseas and our enemies have in their custody.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous visuals from a mediocre actress. In quotation marks. The actress part.
So
Wonder
I
is the feeling
wonder.
I get when I see that trailer.
So we've done
Oh.
wondering
Oh.
about Suicide Squad, and now we're looking to the future.
Yes! Shazam! I think... No, Wonder Woman. Oh my goodness! Matt, I'm having a Ghostbusters-like epiphany again.
This trailer looks excellent.
I'm like, I don't like this version of the character. Oh wait, I'm watching the trailer. I think I'm interested.
See, you don't like the Batman vs Superman Wonder Woman. I think she's the best thing about the film.
But my viewpoint in that is that's not saying much. But that's just because that film... I have a lot of grievances with that film. We'll go back to that film in a moment, though, because that ties in more into our last topic. But Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman could bring something incredibly special to the DCEU. I still don't know, based on this trailer, how I feel about her performance at least, but her visuals, the way she carries herself, her silhouette as Wonder Woman, her silhouette, she's got like her center of energy is very present. She walks onto the battlefield in the trailer, and you go, Jesus Christ! If any of those soldiers attempt to shoot at her, they are making a mistake. She looks like she could kick some serious ass. And that's not me saying, like, because a woman normally wouldn't. That's me just saying, oh my god, she's powerful. You can feel it from the visual now. She is an Amazonian. She is there. Chris Pine's Steve Trevor looks fun. He's playing Kirk again, but he's playing Kirk in a biplane.
I don't know if Chris Pine can play anything else.
No. I mean, you see him in interviews. Kirk is just him.
Yeah.
But again, that's what this movie needs.
Yeah.
It needs the cheeky... Yeah. It needs the Nathan Fillion... Steve Trevor from the Wonder Woman animated movie, which is basically that. It's do you know what I mean? It's the sideways glance, like, this is all kind of ridiculous. Quiet, man! Like, it needs that sort of angle, and that looks like what they're going for. There's not been a confirmation on who the villain is yet, is there? But there's rumours it's Ares.
Rumours are it's Ares.
Played by Danny Houston, who is a general or a sergeant of some kind in the army. And that that Ares may be using him as like his vessel on Earth or something to create chaos.
Yeah, I've seen a rumour that Sean Bean's playing Ares.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
But that's not been confirmed.
The trailer looks like exactly what you'd imagine the trailer would be. World War One, a bit of Themyscira, here's some stuff. But Patty Jenkins' shot compositions, the choice of colour and the use of colour, and then the lack thereof in certain shots.
Yeah.
I like how this movie looks.
It looks really nice.
The fight choreography, the period setting.
Just snaps a rifle behind her back. It's just like...
the way that the lasso of truth glows when it's being used.
She just looks so
the moment
strong,
it grabs somebody,
yeah.
It glows. I mean, that attention to detail is gorgeous. I will say, too much shield use against bullets, because I think we all know what we want to see used against bullets, but I think they will give that... I'll be honest, they will do an incredible Hulk smash moment. There will be a moment in the film where she deflects a bullet with the bracelet.
We don't know how bulletproof this version of Wonder Woman is.
Well, she's using a shield, so I imagine not bulletproof. But cocky, confident enough to walk out in a Roman-esque like skirt.
Yeah.
And face bullets. I think it'll be like the Incredible Hulk, where they have that moment where he finally in a film goes Hulk, smack, and clap, like use cars as fists. I think they'll have that moment where like she loses the shield, like she throws it at someone or whatever. She turns around to see someone fire at her, and she'll just whip her arm up and deflect the bullet with the bracelet. There'll be something like that to make all of us nerds in the audience spunk in our jeans. That will happen.
Yeah, probably.
I still have a reservation about Gal Gadot, but it's more to do with the delivery. I'm eager to see if she wins me over. I hope she does. It's like any movie. You don't go in wanting it to be shit. I hope she wins me over, but from her physical presence and from how she looks in the trailer in terms of the action and the way she cuts silhouette as Diana and as Wonder Woman, I like it. I like it a lot. And I think this is the first DC movie where, of this wave from Man of Steel onwards, where the first trailer has made me go, "Oh," and this is a nice feeling. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it in my balls.
Yeah, it's got me excited for a DC movie.
Never thought you'd be saying that ever, did you?
I would hoped I was, because as much as I've turned on Suicide Squad, I'm not excited for Suicide Squad, but I'm open to it. Wonder Woman, I'm actively excited for. I think it looks really good.
Shall we do this?
Oh, that's the last one.
Yeah. For those who don't like controversial opinions, stick around. For those who do like controversial opinions, stick around. Justice League. Now, it's not a trailer. They clarified that at the beginning. The very beginning of the footage, on all the official channels, some of the YouTube channels that have put it up have neglected this, but there is a caption that basically says, for the presentation of Hall H, but it's essentially saying, this isn't a trailer. This is us sort of giving you a taste.
Well, I think it makes a decent trailer.
Yeah, it's cut like a trailer. Although it doesn't end with, names and stuff.
Zack knows how to cut a trailer.
Who would leave you in charge of the franchise?
He loves cutting trailers. Sometimes his trailers are 2.5 hours long.
12:50. Let's go pro-com.
Do you want to alternate?
Yeah. Why not? Let's try and pro-con, and let's try and end on pro, because I don't want to come across like no, do you know what I do? Because fuck, it's my opinion. And you're listening to this because you want to hear our opinions. I don't want to come across as the mardy arse I am in my Batman v Superman reviews, because you've seen that. I want to try and be positive. I want to go for Ghostbusters has opened my eyes, children. I have seen the Lord. Things can change my mind, but
I've got the biggest pro.
And I've got a biggest con. Let's call the whole thing off.
Biggest pro.
Hit me with your biggest pro. Hit me with your big pro.
People are smiling, and dialogue actually sounds like people talking.
Yes, I agree. There is a significant shift in tone from the previous two movies of this series.
Yeah.
And that is good. They have listened. Or they've given in. Either way, the audience...
Zack's given in.
Yeah, either way, with the audience...
Jeff Johns is on set beating him with a copy of DC Universe Rebirth. Going, this is what we're doing now, Zack! This is what we're doing! Get on board! Or get overboard! This is what we're doing! He had none of that on Batman v Superman. He was just like, I have all these toys. I got
I can make the Batman movie. I can make the Batman movie.
I
can make the Batman movie I've always wanted to make. Zack, this is a Superman movie. Oh yeah. I'll make sure to put him into 40 lines of dialogue in the movie. He's a title character. The extended edition made sure there was lots more Superman. He got at least 20 more lines. So, oh god,
all of them. It's not sounding like anything Superman would say.
Or a reporter who has any knowledge of anything would say.
You have to watch that.
Who's Bruce Wayne? No, we're not. You buy it. I ain't giving it any money.
I don't. Yeah, well, that's the thing is how to.
I ain't giving them any of my money.
How to legally watch it without paying for it.
Borrow it, I guess.
Yeah.
If anyone out there would like to lend us their copy of Batman v Superman Deluxe Edition, please send it our way.
It's the only version you can buy.
It will sit. I know. They've erased the theatrical version.
The only version you can buy.
This is right. Here we go. Con. This is my biggest con for the Justice League footage. Tone is lighter. Great. Yes, absolutely delighted with that. I am so happy with that. But a lot of the wisecracks and positive light moments from this trailer, from this footage, come from the man who 1 film ago, 4 months ago, was snapping necks, shooting people, and killing people with his car. I don't care if Batman's having... No. I want Batman to be lighter, which is a thing that a lot of people always get sort of like... It's a weird sentence to say out loud, but I do want Batman to be lighter. It's too soon for me to hear him joking about fish and having snappy dialogue with Wonder Woman. I would have preferred this footage to have given us lighter Batman, but not jokey Batman. Save that for the film. If now, in a perfect world, the other two films prior to this don't exist. And if
See,
that's the case, I can accept this Batman with an open heart.
That's where I can't get on board with your argument, though, because your argument is that yes, the tone lighter is better, but the tone was bad in the last movie, so they've changed it for the better.
No, I know it's a weird thing.
But now it's not better because the last movie was there.
What you're saying is you're hearing me say, well, the tone's lighter, yeah, but I want more of the tone from the last movie. No.
No, that's not what I'm hearing you say.
I don't want.
I'm hearing you say they've changed this thing for the better.
Well, to be fair, you're hearing
because
the
last
me
movie
say
was bad. It feels like they've changed. It feels like they've changed it too soon. Like
no.
Change it.
I'm glad they've changed it, but what I'm saying is the fact that like two of the jokes in the trailer come from Batman feels weird to me. It feels like a lie. It feels like they've forced the change rather than it be organic.
Well, they had to force the change.
I know they have to force the change, but at the same time,
they have forced it. They haven't got time to make it organic.
I think it's their scruples that I'm fucked with.
I
think it's their scruples I'm pissed off with.
Their scruples are they're listening to people.
No, their scruples are their hand has been forced. Yeah. Let's be honest.
As long as the result is the same, it doesn't matter how they get there.
That's true. But it's the brash. It's you know what it is. It's the cocksure headstrong approach of they're like, fuck the other side, we know what we're doing. And then after 2 times of us going, you don't know what you're doing, they've gone, we know what we're doing, everybody, see? Oh, so, cool, you've changed it. No, we definitely haven't, we've changed.
Would you rather they hadn't listened?
This con is more based on the pro than the con. But
I just don't know what you want now.
I'd rather have them listened, but I would rather Batman not be joking so soon, fresh in the memory. Here we go, here's how to put it. If we got this trailer next year, for example, I wouldn't have a problem. I think it's just because I still have the aftertaste of that Bruce Wayne and that Diana from BVS in my mouth. Give me time, I'll come around. I honestly will. I will come around.
I honestly don't see what your problem is.
I will come around, but that's because when you hear me, you just hear blah 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 blah.
No, that's
but
not
to be fair,
true.
that's the filter. No, but that's the filter everyone puts on.
It's more of a vomiting sound.
Let's do pro. Let's do pro. Zack Snyder's visual iconography is back, and it isn't cities being destroyed. It's character iconography. Arthur Curry stood. No. Basically, like his when we heard he was directing Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, for example, we were like, well, he's really good with visual stuff. It'll be interesting to see what he brings to this. Man of Steel had a couple of really nice visual beats.
Can't tell a story that saved his life, but it's good with visual.
But it had a couple of nice visual beats. Too much Christy stuff, but like the Birthright. It was the adaptation of the moment in Birthright, him flying for the first time. It was really nice. That's a cool sequence. It's the only time he freaking smiles in any of the movies as well.
Well, he's smiling in the promo image for Justice League.
Of course he is, because, they've got to force it on us. But, yeah.
Why is that a problem?
I know.
Why is that a problem? It's like, there was this massive problem with the last 2 movies we made, and now we fixed it. Feels forced.
I'll tell you what.
Expect them to do what you want.
I'll tell you what my other problem with that promo image as well is. The fact Superman's in it, save that, because otherwise it looks like the ultimate backpedal too soon. But again, it's because of the taste in my mouth. I will, Matthew.
We know he's in it already.
Matthew, take this bottle.
We already know he's in it.
Take the bottle. Suckle.
Don't stop putting things in my mouth. I've told you about that.
Okay, to be fair, it's not a bottle, but do suckle.
Just,
I will get over this. Your panic is.
I just don't understand.
No,
I just don't know what you want.
No, I don't want anything anymore.
I don't know what you want.
I want to ascend. No,
I don't know how I help.
These are problems I will get over. I honestly will. I will get over them. It's like Girl Slimer. I'll get over. I will say this: on second viewing, it bothered me again, and I'm happy. I'm happy to report. It also. You ready for this? It also bothered Lucy, and at least 3 reviewers I've seen since. So I know I'm not insane. I just don't know why I'm not insane.
I don't know why it bothers people. I don't know why that is a sticking point for anyone.
Pros. Arthur Curry against the Waves looks cool.
Arthur Curry in general looks
Cyborg's design, I like. It's kind of different from what I expected. It's sort of dipping into an Injustice again, because of course Zack Snyder's only looked at 3 source materials. But it looks like he has shifting plates. He looks like he's slotted together, and I kind of like that.
It's an interesting design.
There's not enough Cyborg in this teaser, but maybe that's because visual effects-wise they've only finished a few Cyborg
I'm a
shots.
little worried about it all being mocap and not...
Works for Iron Man, though. Iron Man is only part practical costume. And Spider-Man. Spider-Man gets CG enhanced.
Iron Man's more... See, it did stick out a little bit in Civil War with Spider-Man. But it doesn't stick out so much in Iron Man because it's quite...
we see it looks like that, and that's how that was the first hero in that universe as well. He was the first visual in that universe too. So we were like, oh, this is how things look.
With Cyborg, he's not quite mechanical.
No, he's part organic.
It feels a little Green Lantern.
But to be fair, the shot of him when they're coming out of what looks like a storage container, like that shot of him, the way that scene's composed, the red of his eye, the silver of the metal, looks quite cool.
It looks very solid. Cyborg as a character I have zero interest in whatsoever.
Flash is, he's kind of being shoehorned. I hate to say it.
He's in this because he was in the New 52 Justice League.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I hate to say it. It does feel like DC are trying to do a representation thing, which is good, but they're not telling a good enough story to justify Victor's inclusion in this world. It feels like there are other heroes you could bring to this table.
If you want to do the representation, do John Stewart Green Lantern.
John Stewart Green Lantern. Yes, boy.
But
yes,
I just don't... I don't care about Cyborg.
Fair enough.
At all.
So, cons. This is a personal con. He's not grabbed you. Like, even this trailer.
I wouldn't go so far as to say it was a con. Like, Cyborg's in this movie.
No, dude, because we're doing a back and forth.
But, like...
And this is a Zack Snyder thing. I don't want to stay on the pros too long.
I just find it hard to have any opinion about Cyborg. Like, he's a Cyborg dude. Cool. Okay, cool.
Cons. You're not doing anything to make me like Jason Momoa anymore. I'll be honest. It does seem like, and I'll say this. Met him at a convention. Nice guy. In person, is a bit of a brash dude from interviews. Is a bit of an arrogant guy from interviews.
Everyone came out on the defensive for Batman vs Superman.
Oh no, but he came out on the offensive.
Yeah. Everyone came out.
His thing was basically like, fuck Marvel, what we've got is better. It's like, Jason, all you have to say is, either don't bring up the, what's it? Oh, is it Marvel? Distinguished Competition? Don't bring up Marvel. Or say, what they're doing is, like they've sort of told, they're telling the modern superhero story. What we're bringing to the table is something very different, and we think you're really going to like it. Or, for the sake of your press department at Warner Brothers, just don't mention Marvel and talk about how amazing your thing is. Seeing his Aquaman, I'm a bit like, oh, so it's Khal Drogo, it's Conan the Barbarian. It's just no, but I mean in terms of he's a brute. Like, he's a big brute with dreadlocks and the beard and the tattoos, and he's an arrogant dick. But I think they're doing that because that's how they think they need to sell Aquaman to an audience.
I think it might be how they need to sell Aquaman to an audience. And also, it's something different.
Yeah.
He is...
But to further that con, it's reminiscent of 90s Aquaman. It's reminiscent of 90s Aquaman. Now, he doesn't have his hook hand, but I've got to admit, I have a soft spot for the unnecessarily 90s version of Aquaman.
I have a soft spot for the unnecessary.
Not the N64 game, not the GameCube game, but...
God, there was a GameCube Aquaman game.
It was basically a retooled Superman 64, because DC have always been about quality.
Wow. I'm going to have to track that down.
It's terrible. Oh, God, it's awful.
Fly through my ring.
Dirty bastard. So there is that. Other pros. Barry Allen seems fun.
Yeah,
it's a very different Barry Allen from the one that we've grown used to over the last few years.
I was very resistant to Ezra Miller because of how much I like Grant Gustin in the show. But I'm okay with Ezra Miller in this. Don't like the costume. That's a little con.
That's fine, but I think that's down to your disapproval of the costume. Because I've got to admit, I'm a bit like with the costumes, in my opinion. But I think the reason you don't like the costume is because you've seen how a Flash costume can be done, look good, and be pretty simple and straightforward.
It's
because of the
design.
TV one.
It's over-designed.
But that also brings in like the con that has nothing to do with the footage. They could have just incorporated the TV characters into the film. They could have one-upped the Distinguished Competition by doing that. They could have brought a Green Arrow and a Flash to the movies.
Though, we had this conversation before the podcast
about
the Marvel shows not integrating with the movies.
Yeah.
They're different companies, different worlds, different production schedules. You've got to schedule all these actors. I mean, look at the amount of scheduling you have to do for a movie to get made. It's amazing that anything ever gets made.
Yeah.
But to have to get this 2-hour movie which films for like 3 months.
Hey CW, can we have Grant Gustin for 3 months? It's like, not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say this though, interviews have come out. Look, people have got compilations together of any time they've mentioned one another in interviews. Grant Gustin has had a chat with Ezra Miller apparently, and has sort of wished him luck, but has refused to give him advice because he's like, no, it's your interpretation. But is looking forward to seeing what he's doing, and has no hard feelings because he thinks it's kind of cool that, you get to see two versions of the character.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller has gone on about how much he thinks Grant Gustin is phenomenal. He's had to stop himself from rewatching, keyword, season 2 of The Flash because he doesn't want to accidentally mimic what Grant's doing. But he loves the fact that Grant's show shows multiverse stuff and that Batman v Superman shows Flash travelling through time. And he says, you know what I love about this? My Flash doesn't cancel out Grant's. We both exist. We're in different universes.
But for anyone who reads comics,
it holds true. But he's openly fanboyed in an interview about that, and that makes me go, not only am I happy that you're playing this character because I feel this character is in safe hands, but you are so enthusiastic about all of this. And in the same interview, he sort of mentions Marvel stuff and goes on about how he loves it, which I'm sure Warner Brothers probably had a word with him afterwards and said, "Don't do that again." But I'm happy that he did, because he's basically saying, "Look, we don't exist without them. The only reason Warner Brothers is making these films is to compete with those guys. And competition. The fact we exist is amazing. Competition is the fact that Netflix is going to be a breeding ground for both is amazing. This is such a great thing. Competition is healthy, which is why I didn't like the way Momoa approached stuff and the way that Warner Brothers, like at their cast parties, gave out the gift to like Jared Leto and Henry Cavill, those T-shirts that said "fuck Marvel." It's like, no, stop it. This is not how you do it. Competition's great, and that is, I think, and we'll end on this. I think that is the overall pro of the Justice League footage, is that we are steering closer to, I think, what we want from Justice League, whilst incorporating what people still liked about the previous movies. Oh my god, these films aren't going away anytime soon. Oversaturation could happen. Are we feeling it currently? No. It's still maybe like 3 films a year.
This boom is not going to bust. It's not going to go anywhere.
No.
It's not going to go anywhere.
Give it 20 years, it might calm down. But right now, superhero, comic book is a genre of cinema. If you're sick of it, don't go and see it. The rest of us, we've had to sit through your freaking sports movies. We've had to sit through your Stephen King adaptations. And we've had to sit through... Yeah, to be fair. But do you know what I mean? Like, we've had to sit through your westerns. Yeah. We've had to sit through several freaking iterations of the same, like, Jack Reacher-esque characters. Let us have this, bro. Let us have this. We're enjoying it. We're having fun. We're not taking away your toys. We're just joining in.
I just want to finish on one final thought.
As long as you say, and now for my final thought in the voice of Jerry Springer before you begin.
I can't do a Jerry Springer to save my life.
And now for my final thought.
So,
that was amazing. How did you do that?
Have a look at that Justice League trailer again. And notice that Bruce Wayne finds out that Ezra Miller's the Flash by throwing a razor-sharp batarang at his face. What if he was wrong?
Wow, he's not changed. He hasn't changed. He's still a murderer.
Just ponder that.
And also, actually, mention one more thing, because there's something else you mentioned to me, which is going to bug me forever. And now we'll leave it with you guys to bug you forever. The end of that footage. Arthur Curry's pinning Bruce Wayne up against a wall.
Yeah. And so, he makes the Arthur Curry, I hear you talk to fish gag.
Smiles. The audience probably went, ha 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 ha.
And then nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
There's no payoff to that gag. There's no punchline. There's like, that is the one thing for the trailer that is an absolute characteristic of Snyder being completely unfucking able to tell a story and having no sense of narrative because he sets up a joke and does not pay it off. Now, I understand that they may not have an effect shot ready to pay that joke off. In which case, don't put the fucking line in the thing, right? I know it's not a proper trailer, it's only a sneak peek, but just save it for the actual trailer. If we get an actual trailer and that line's in it and there's no payoff, I'm still gonna fucking see this movie because I think I'm actually relatively optimistic for it, but I'm gonna be angry about it on a podcast.
We ended on a con. A Comic-Con! That was our roundup of SDCC this year. Tell us what you think in the comments here on YouTube or SoundCloud. If you're listening to this on iTunes, you're in the future. Congratulations. But you can't comment there. So if you do want to get in touch, bigdamncontact@gmail.com. Anything you ever want us to talk about, if there's any topics you want us to cover, or if you just want to share your opinions on the stories we talked about this week and we talk about in the future, let us know. bigdamncontact@gmail.com. I've been Chris. He's been Matt.
I have been Matt, and if you are listening to us on iTunes, please, please, please leave a review, because we can't get better if you don't tell us that we're crap. Bye!
I love an awkward ending.
That's what she said.